What's up, everybody? What's happening? Happy Saturday to you all. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope life is treating you well. Um, let's see what we got going on here today, real quick with the weather. Currently 80 degrees in the New York area, going up to a high of 84. It's cloudy partially right now. The sun's going to come out a little later, and the humidity is at almost 70%. So it's kind of soupy out there. A little soups. Tomorrow, 90 degrees, partially cloudy with chance of showers, 51% chance. So that's that's halfway, Monday, partially cloudy, 82. Tuesday, partially cloudy, 79. Wednesday, partially cloudy, 79. Thursday, partially cloudy, 81. And then Friday looks like a lot more sun and 85. That's what we got going on, y'all. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope life is treating you well. You are blessed and highly favored, like we all are, to wake up another day and enjoy walking on this earth. And I hope your family members and friends are doing well as well. Man, it's a lot going on. So, first off, check out last night's State of the Game if you haven't checked it out. It's specifically about the Mets and, what's been going on with the team. And boy, I tell you, it's a lot. And Wolverine, I see you. You check that out, especially if you haven't seen it. Because I know you dealing with it right now too. I understand. We also got a second preseason game for the New York Giants today, which I'm very excited about. I don't know about the order of quarterbacks for today as of yet. I haven't heard anything. So I don't know if Dart is going to be starting. I don't know if Dart is going to get the same amount of love that he got last time. There's a chance he could, but you know what? Not for nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets, 1 quarter. I think last time he got a quarter and a half. Well, technically a little bit more than that because Russell Wilson only got one series. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Russell Wilson get a little bit more this time. And if they want to, but usually in the second preseason game, the starter gets a little bit more time because by the last preseason game, the starter doesn't even play. So I wouldn't be surprised if Russell Wilson gets a little bit more. Dart gets just a quarter. DeVito gets a quarter, and Jameis Winston gets a quarter. So we'll see. I don't know. Either way, I just want to see them play. Should be interesting. And I'm interested to see how the offense does against the Jets defense, because apparently they were practicing a lot and the Jets defense was giving the Giants offense fits. That's a good sign. Aaron Glenn has been doing a great job with the Jets. I think he's a good choice for them over there. He gives them what they've been missing. And I know the Giants have been kind of struggling because they've been without Neighbors because he's been I think he's dealing with a toe injury, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. And I also know Jalen Hyatt has been out as well. So those are two big pieces of, obviously Neighbors is the biggest piece, but those are big pieces of the current offense that we got. So yeah, without them, it makes it a little bit more tough. You can't take the top off the ball without Hyatt out there, and you're basically every down wide receiver. Neighbors is not there, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. But it's good, actually. This is good, right? Because what Neighbors is going to give you. You're still trying to figure out Hyatt, but what Neighbors is going to give you. So without him there, and the Giants not having a lot of, I don't want to say they're not. Let's say they're not like necessarily proven to be big wide receivers for the team because they can do some stuff, but you know what I mean? Like being really tested and depended on and coming through, you know, these guys still got to step up. The rest of the guys still got to step up. So this will be a good chance for them to kind of show themselves. It's also a good chance for people like Washington and the other guy who caught the touchdown by Dart last week. I forgot his name, something Junior or something. I forgot. You know, gives them a chance to shine and show what they can do and possibly win a spot on the team. Because remember, no guarantees. All right. So that being that, obviously, you know, we're going to talk about a bunch of Knicks stuff today. The schedule is out, and I know you guys have been watching all the content creators break down the schedule. So I'm just going to be another one that does it today. We got a new coach, and basically, I think this finally ends the rest of the coaching searching. I think this kind of rounds out the coaching staff. I mean, there's a lot of coaches on the team, so I would think that that's it. I don't know. I would assume that this is finally it. And we also know that Coffee will not be, you know, wearing a Knick jersey because he was locked up by Milwaukee. So there you go. Shout out to Amir Coffee. I also want to say, as usual, thank you to everybody tuning in. Everybody today tuning in on YouTube, on X, and on Kick. My Facebook people, I apologize. Y'all can't see this right now, but if you watch the replay, if you come over to YouTube or whatever, and you see me talking, trying something different today, so kind of decided to use Kick as a streaming option today. So the Facebook option I had to put to the side for today, but we'll see how it works. And if it's not picking up any traction, then I will obviously go back to Facebook. But Facebook being the third option doesn't really have as many people watching as the other options. I figured today's the day to try it. So let's see how the Kick audience works. See how that looks. Anyway, thank you guys once again for all being here. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so, and share out with your peoples. Let them know we rocking right now live. Let's see. And of course, you guys know I got my morning cup of Joe or Joanne, however you want to call it. You know what I mean? My congestion maker right here, my iced coffee. So, let's see here. What we got? Walter Blackman in the building. What up, Walter? Good to see you as always. Says good morning, Ron. I hope all is well with you and your family. It's a game day between your Giants and my Jets. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like, listen, historically, I really like when the Giants play the Jets, but I get mad because for whatever reason, there's like a bad juju. Knock on wood today. I hope nothing happens. But you know, when the Giants play the Jets in preseason, players get hurt. So I hope nothing happens. We've watched it happen for both sides. Okay. Jets players got hurt on the turf, even though it's their shared turf. They got hurt in the turf in the past. Giant players got hurt for whatever reason. Back in, I'll never forget when Jason Sehorn got hurt and was done for the season. Oh no, I was so sick. I never forget. Anyway, so yeah. Shout out to Crim's dad in the building. What up, Crim's dad? Salute to you, my guy. Thank you for being a member of the SKF Army, as always. Said Mets suck, Yanks better, Judges back. Sorry, Met fans. Listen, as I told you before, Crim's dad, them Yankees still got their own problems they got to deal with. I hope they get it right. But you know, Mets gonna be fine. Maybe not this year, but they're gonna be all right. And for those Met fans out there, and I still don't understand. Do you guys not remember Soto is, yes, definitely struggling, having a tough season. But look at his numbers. Those are really nice numbers to have for a struggling player. If this was any other player, I get it. I know he's making tons of money, and yes, he's held to a higher standard. I'm not questioning it, but I'm just saying. Let me tell you, to have 30 home runs and 70 RBIs and whatever he's got, 100 plus hits, batting 256 or whatever it is, in a struggling year compared to today's baseball player, that's pretty damn good for a struggle year. I'm just saying. That's a lot of people's potential. And this is his first year with the team playing in a new stadium, right? And there was questions, would Juan Soto be able to, would his power be able to translate in Citi Field, because it's not Yankee Stadium, and it's harder to hit the home runs out. And even though, his home runs, not all of them are bombs, they're still getting out. And he's got 30, and there's still about almost 2 months left in the season. I'm just saying, guys, we saw. I mean, I think Met fans really do forget, and I think even if I've said it multiple times, they don't care. Francisco Lindor had a really tough first season with the Mets. I think he batted around 239, something like that. So listen, y'all, you know what I mean? Like, come on, y'all. And he has been nothing but phenomenal since he's been here. He's definitely, I mean, no one's really worth the money, but if you want to say that they gave him the money and Francisco Lindor has been everything is advertised, yes. Does he have ups and downs? Yes. Do I know that he's a second half player, a hot season player, just like Soto is, in my opinion? I agree. I think they both are. But when Lindor comes to play, he comes to play. And I think as Met fans, we'll see the same thing with Soto. Maybe not this year, but next year as he's comfortable, you'll see it. I already saw it with the Nationals. This dude had incredible seasons with the Nationals and then had one terrible season. And not terrible, but really bad for him. And then came back and had great seasons again. It happens. Nobody's perfect, even though he likes to call himself that, but it happens. The Boston Celtics and Ron Harper Jr. have agreed to a deal. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's get back to it. Nostalgic Nick is in the building. What's going on? I said, Ron G, salute and happy weekend. What's going on, my brother? Hope you're doing well. Krim's dad said Nick's schedule making up for last year. I hear that. He also says, go Giants, and I'm with you on that, buddy. Wolverines 1986 says, hello all, what's good? Rick Brunson's still a coach. That's disturbing. Nepotism isn't good. It's NBA finals or bust this year. Coaching cost us last year. Coaching has to be on point this year. Agreed. He also says Brunson, best player on team and best point guard in the East. Brunson will lead the way and show us how he can be even better point guard this year. In Brunson, I trust. Okay, that's cool. I like it. Carrie's in the building. Said salute, Ron. What's going on, Carrie? Good to see you as always. Sherwin is in the building. Says good morning, all. What up, Sherwin? All right. Shaw Powers is in the building. Salute. What's going on? One half of Knicks Real Talk, but also my brother Divine. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Please support Knicks Real Talk and go show them some love as always. Knicks Nation is in the building. Salute. What's going on, Knicks Nation? Sherwin said, Ron, let's talk about why we lost to Indiana. Depth, pace, cohesion, and elite ball movement. Forcing our turnovers, transition scoring, their defense pressure. How did we fix them? Well, depth, I think we addressed depth, even though some people may disagree. Let's not forget. Hold on. You guys know how it is. There we go. You guys know how it is, man. This freaking congestion, but I can't stop. I won't stop. All right. First off, depth. You guys know our bench was pretty tough last year. It wasn't as fruitful as we thought it was going to be. So, I think the addition of Yabusele and Clarkson definitely helps with depth. I mean, we can go 9 strong now. I mean, I think most people would agree we have 9 players that we can use, right? So if you're questioning depth, I think we have 9 players that we can use. We are still talking about adding a 10th, whoever that may be. If that 10th is Landry Shamet, we have 10 players I think we can use. I think you would be wrong if you feel differently. I think we got 10 players we could use if we add Shamet. I don't know about Simmons and all this other stuff. We'll see. This is all crazy to me. Right? And that's not even talking about the other guys, the young players that we have on the team. I'm sorry. I know Sherwin doesn't necessarily. He doesn't have. He doesn't hold some of the young guys in high regards because of their defense. He's not sold on Huck Porty. He definitely is not a big fan of Kolek because of the defensive side. But I think that Huck Porty can get better. He does have some potential defensively. I also think that we don't know what's going to happen with Dadier and or McCullers. I find it very weird that all of a sudden, this is kind of crazy to me. I don't know. And it makes me wonder, do other people in this Knicks community watch fellow content creators? Because I know I watch fellow content creators and I don't watch them all. There's a few that I don't really watch, but I do try to watch a lot of my fellow content creators and show them love. Even if I can't watch a whole show, I'll pop in here and there and, say what's up or whatever. We have been talking about Kevin McCullers Jr. for a while now, and the fact that he's not going to be able to, be given the rookie contract for because of the fact that he did play last year, and so he doesn't have the eligibility. This is nothing new, and I find it very interesting that all of a sudden, the past couple of days, people are talking about it like this is brand new, and like, oh my God, what are they going to do with Kevin McCullers Jr.? Like, we're not going to be able to get him to that rookie contract, and then we're going to have to sign him as a veteran minimum contract, and we can't do that because we need that for someone else. So, are we going to lose Kevin McCullers? Like, we already talked about this. We knew this was happening. And so that means the only course of action for the Knicks is to give him a 2-way contract. I don't see what the problem is. Maybe you think Kevin McCullers Jr. has earned the right to be on the team for 82 games and be an intricate part of the team. I think he should be a part of the team, but I'm not going to say that he's earned the right to be that big of a part. I just want him to be a part, but I don't know about that. And a 2-way contract is a 50-50 split, right? You can play up to 42 games, I think, or 41 games with the big club, and then the rest of your time has to be split with the G League. Okay, that's fine for me. It is what it is. Does that mean that if the Knicks needed him in the playoffs, can he not play because he's not eligible? I don't think so. I think 2-way players can play as long as you haven't hit the threshold of the amount of games that you're allotted to. So that's not an issue. So I don't see what's the problem. All right. So he can't play with the big club the whole year. Fine. He needs a little bit more work anyway. He missed a lot of time being hurt. Am I tripping? I don't see what the issue is. Y'all help me if I'm missing something, because people are talking about it like this is devastating news. Like no one saw this coming. Like what? What are we talking about here? Are we not following the same team? We've been talking about this. I don't know. I just think it's weird because it's coming out like it's breaking news, and we've been talking about this for almost a month and a half, whatever, 2 months. I don't know what. Wild, weird stuff. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, excuse me. Wolverines is talking about the Mets have no starting rotation whatsoever, which is destroying the bullpen. You really need to watch last night's show. Watch last night's show, bro. We talked all about this. Cardiac Knicks is in the building. Salute, Ron. Salute, SKF chat. What's going on, Cardiac? Lena Franklin is in the building. Let's go, Lena. So, what up, family? Queen is ready for the new season of New York Knicks. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes. Wolverine says, fire Rick Brunson, Mo Cheeks, let Mike Brown pick his entire coaching staff that smells it. I mean, bro, how many more guys you want Mike Brown to have on his coaching staff? I think he's fine. I think he's okay, bro. He's got two offensive guys. He's got one of the best defensive guys in the league. He's got himself. He's got the other guy that came over from Sacramento. He's got the other guy that came over from Sacramento who was a development guy that worked with Mikal Britt. He's got what he needs, okay? He's got core pieces for what he needs to do. All these other pieces are strictly specialist. Mark Bryant is a specialist. I don't see any problem with Mark Bryant being here. He helps the big man. He's got rave reviews for being a big man coach wherever he's been. No issues there. And the other guys that may be sitting on the bench, the statistician dudes that look at the numbers and analytics and stuff, that means nothing. I'm not saying it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. I mean, like, anybody can do that. You don't have to have your own, hey, my guy looks at analytics different than that guy. You know what I mean? But the Mo Cheeks thing, all right. Mo Cheeks is a friendly hire. I agree with that. The Rick Brunson thing, okay, I get it. But once again, I've said this before. I understand. I'm with you. But just because you have somebody on your staff doesn't mean that that's going to change. Do we not remember why Tom Thibodeau got fired? Because he had a bunch of people on his staff that he didn't listen to. But he had those people on his staff for years, and he was here for years. So it's not like just because somebody's on your staff, that means you're not going to be able to conduct yourself and roll out the things you like to do with the team. He's here. You know what I mean? He could talk to his son. Coach is trying to do this, son. This is what he wants to do. This is what we're going to run out next practice. Whatever. It is what it is. I hear you, but I'm just saying we got to move on because they're not going nowhere. As much we the fans, we can say what we want. They're not going anywhere until somebody higher up decides that they need to go. So we got to deal with it. What are we going to do? Shout out to Wonder Woman in the building. Let's go, Wonder Woman. Hello, Ron in the chat. Hope everyone is doing well. Same to you and yours. Walter says we need a legitimate point guard who can relieve some of the pressure off JB against teams like the Pistons and the Pacers. We probably do, but somebody's going to have to step up because we don't got anybody. Margaret Edwards is in the building. Let's go, Margaret. Said Rick Brunson is Jalen Brunson's personal coach. He has nothing to do with the Mike Brown coaching staff. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, Margaret. It is what it is. Like, he's here to help Jalen possibly be the best Jalen he can be. And, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he pushes Jalen to a certain point, which keeps Jalen, at the level that he's at. I'm not saying that that's the case, but did you guys ever think about the difference between what Jalen Brunson was before he came to the Knicks and what people thought, he's going to be okay. Yeah, Jalen Brunson's all right. And then Jalen Brunson becoming the all-star, all-NBA player. You ever think that maybe having his father around him helped push him to those points where, you know what I mean? Like, that level of toughness that his father gave him growing up and forcing him to be a certain type of player is kind of what has helped him, excel as a point guard in New York. Not saying that he can't win and be effective if Daddy Brunson ain't here, but if it's not hurting anybody and the organization is okay with it and the team understands that Rick Brunson is no longer the same Rick Brunson he was last year because he's got a little lesser role. Do we even know what Rick Brunson's role is? Maybe the issue was last year teammates felt like he was overstepping his bounds and getting involved in other things, and maybe they felt like he needed to step back. Maybe he's been given a step back. Maybe he's been told that he should only, be someone who roots for the team, gives them some encouragement, but is strictly there to help Jalen. Do we know that? And we won't know that, but that could be the case. So I'm just want to say I'm not making a big deal about this because Mike Brown is an established coach in the NBA, has history, and he's not threatened by Rick Brunson. Rick Brunson doesn't have a better resume than him, and Rick Brunson won't be the reason for Mike Brown's success or not being successful. That's going to be on Mike Brown. So I'm just saying, let's move on, y'all. Let's move on because there's nothing that we can do about it. It is what it is. That's all we can do. Just watch it. Sherwin says, Ron, have you noticed I didn't mention any offensive weakness? That's because our offense is not the problem. Oh, no, I agree. I hear you. But what you got to understand, Sherwin, is that our offense could be better. And if your offense is at a high level, it affects the other team's defense, right? We've seen that with Indiana. When your offense is at a high level, it affects the other team's defense. No matter how good defensively you are, it's hard for you to stop it. You think I'm lying? Ask OKC if it was easy to stop Indiana's offense. How did they get to Game 7? So that's the part where we're not looking at. A lot of us are traditional basketball heads that look at things for what they're supposed to be, in defense being, in high regard. And we all know defense helps win championships, but defense alone doesn't win championships. Okay, you could say the teams in the past, the Bulls teams, they had great defense and that helped them. But if it wasn't for the offense of Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan being a special player that barely missed, especially 2-point shots, that had a lot to do with it. A lot. So all I'm saying is if we work on our offense, as some people have said, even watching the Mike D'Antoni system, we are not those Mike D'Antoni teams, guys. We are much better defensively than a lot of those Mike D'Antoni teams. We're just saying, if your offense gets so efficient, you put pressure on the opposing team's defense. It actually can work to your advantage. So, well, we'll see. We'll see if the Knicks can even get to that level of offensive efficiency as a team. We don't know that. That's the plan, but we don't know. Shout out to Chop Low in the building. What up, Chop? Appreciate you as always. What's good, my guy? All right, let me breeze through here, guys. Randu 1973 in the building. Salute Ron into the chat. What up, Randu? Thank you for being a member of the SKF Army as always. JJ's in the building. What up, JJ? Says salute Ron. Happy Saturday, bro. Great Giants D-line versus very talented Jets O-line tonight. Looking forward to it. Yeah, me too. Sherwin says the Giants should tank. Tank for what? Haven't we already been tanking for like 10 years? Like, not on purpose? Like, tank for what? The Giants already have a lot of talent. Do they have everything they need? No. But I don't think they should tank. The defensive line could turn out to be one of the best defensive lines in football. They've got a great little quarterback room now, with solid vets and a young guy who could be the business. We don't know, but I like what Jackson Dart looks like. I like the fact that he can be mobile, and I like the fact that he's got a strong arm, which that is the difference between, honestly, there's two differences between Jackson Dart. Oh boy, I don't even want to bring up his name. I'm not. And our former quarterback. There's two differences between our former quarterback and Jackson Dart. One is Jackson Dart has a stronger arm, right? So that's important. He can throw the deep ball. The former quarterback could throw a good deep ball too. Don't get it twisted. But Jackson Dart can throw the deep ball. But the other thing is he has enough power to put some zip on the underneath routes. You know, not lollipops, not hanging it up there that gives the defense a chance to get there. He's got so the only thing you worry about with Jackson Dart is his overthrows, right? Throwing a little too high or putting a little too much zip on it. That's a good thing though, in my opinion, because you can rein that in. The point is to get the ball to the guys quicker so that the defense doesn't have as much of a chance to intercept it or deflect it. The other guy had problems with that because he didn't have a strong arm. He had better wheels than Jackson Dart, but Jackson Dart is an adequate mobile passer. So I'm cool with that. He can get out the pocket and scramble a little bit, and I like it. And here's the biggest thing, guys. It's still early. I don't know yet because the first preseason game, the Giants had a plan for all the quarterbacks. I saw some people trying to overanalyze Jackson Dart for throwing underneath passes, and we didn't really get to see what he can do. Hello, the whole team's game plan, all the quarterbacks, all four of them was to throw underneath passes. This is how the Giants are planning their offense, and I'm not mad at it. Throw what makes sense. I don't care if it takes you 15 plays to get to the end zone, as long as you get to the end zone. Like, what are we talking about here? That's why I don't listen to people, because I don't think you watch football. It don't matter how you get to the end zone as long as you get to the end zone. The point is, if you play that style of offense underneath thinking dunks, right, the defense has to adjust. Once the defense adjusts, then you go over the top. Like, what are we talking about? Has anybody played Madden? Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, yeah, I'm confident with the defensive line. I'm confident with the quarterback situation so far. Wide receivers, we still have to see what we have as a full unit. But guess what, guys? We know we got a number one, and we know we have a slot type of guy, right? But if we need more, we're gonna have draft picks. You just draft a wide receiver. Or if you can't draft a really high quality wide receiver, that's what free agency is about. Instead of worrying about spending free agency money on other defensive pieces, we don't have to. We got them already. We just got to keep them. The only thing that I can see the Giants have to focus on is getting themselves another solid wide receiver, a number 2, number 3 type guy that they can depend on, and going out and making sure they can get themselves another solid cornerback, because the cornerback thing is a little fugazi. You know, we got one maybe, and we got good safeties, but the cornerback play might be a little fugazi. So that's it. Let me move on. No Cap Life's analyst is in the building. Roll Tide. What's going on, No Cap? Good to see you. Oh, what the hell is that? I'll just ignore that. That's weird. Okay, I'm just breezing through. Don't mind me. I see y'all, but I'm just trying to get to new names so I can shout them out. Shout out to Marlon Khan in the building. What's going on? 106 degrees here in Orlando. Yikes. No bueno. But enjoy it, man. Listen, I'm sure you can beat the heat inside with your AC, or go to a pool, or go to the beach. You know, you do have that at your disposal. So enjoy the day, man. Animal Lex is in the building. What up, Animal? Says salute everyone. Ron out of Orlando, Atlanta, and Detroit. Which of those teams will give the Knicks the most problems, being those teams upgraded? Honestly, I am going to say Orlando. Orlando is a really good team, guys. Healthy, they're really good. They just weren't healthy last year. Orlando's always going to be a problem. They've been a problem for the Knicks forever. So why would I think differently now? Atlanta is not going to be shabby, though. Atlanta's also going to be an issue. I just think Orlando is going to be a bigger issue, but not just for the Knicks, for everybody. Orlando should be pretty good this year. Atlanta still has some proving to do, but, they got some weapons over there. They're going to be all right. And Detroit, I don't know about necessarily them being better this year than they were last year. I think losing, a couple pieces is going to affect them. I think there's going to be a little transition period. Now, once the transition period is over and guys can stay healthy, then, maybe. We'll see. But I'm definitely going Orlando, Atlanta, Detroit in that order. So I think Orlando is going to be the biggest issue. Sherwin says Sauce Gardner is on another level. Of course, you would like the defensive player, but Sauce got to stay consistent because Sauce was, having some moments last year where he wasn't consistent. Boogie Down BX is in the building. What up, Boogie Down? Say, hey, yo, what's going on, brother? All right. G. Robinson is in the building. Said the bench was last in production last year. So where would they rank now realistically? I'm going to say probably around 20th, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Now, if we get a little something else from somebody else, a Kolek, a Daddier, or if they do get McCullough to a two-way deal and he helps the team, then maybe we can be top not top 15, like 15 to 20. You know what I mean? I think 15 to 20 is would be a great sign for the Knicks bench. But I think top 20, like if we can get to 20th, that's a good thing. Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, JM3 is in the building. I'm looking Diawara minutes. Diawara. I don't know. I guess that's how you say it. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Hit him up, NYNJ. We need add Ben Simmons on our ball club run. well, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, now that's interesting. So I didn't see that anywhere, Marlon. Thank you for putting that out there. You know what? That's interesting. So how long have we had how long have we had McCullough? I think it's only been 1 year, right? Last year was his rookie year. So Marlon says he is not eligible for a two-way contract. You cannot be on a two-way 2 years in a row. No, apparently you can. Apparently you can. Says in the NBA, a player can be on a two-way contract for 2 consecutive years with the same team. However, after 2 years on a two-way contract with the same team, the player is no longer eligible to sign another two-way contract with that team, according to Hoop Rumors. Additionally, a player can only sign a two-way contract if they have fewer than 4 years of NBA experience. So Kevin McCullough Jr. qualifies, guys, because last year was Kevin McCullough Jr.'s rookie season, right? He doesn't qualify for the rookie contract because he played 4 NBA games, or played in 4 NBA games, so he loses his eligibility. But since last year was his first year on a 2-way, and this is his second year, he can get a 2-way contract. So, like I said, I think we're okay. I don't think we got to worry about it. He still is eligible, so we should be fine. Next year is different, but this year we're all right. um, and here's the other thing, guys. Remember, things can change. You can start off on a 2-way contract, and if the Knicks open up a spot or something changes, you can be added to the roster on a regular contract. It's the same thing that happened with Deuce. Remember, Deuce was on a 2-way contract, and then I forgot who we moved. Who did we move? I forgot who we moved. And then he was given the 4-year deal, and that was during the season. Shout out to Yuri in the building. What up, Yuri? Say hello, Ron. Hope all is well. Same with you, Yuri. Nick Apocalypse is in the building. What up, Nick Apocalypse? Rick Brunson still has a job. That's all that matters. Yeah, I guess. Hit him up in New York, New Jersey. Says, "Hey, Ron, whatever happened to the lady and the chef and 2 Knicks chicks?" I don't know. I think they're just probably doing, some other stuff right now. But when the season comes back, don't be surprised if you see them. So I wouldn't, I haven't heard from them in a minute, but I think it's because it's the off season, and I think they have decided to take a break during the off season until the season comes back. So I'll wait until we get closer to the season, and until I would say, hey, what happened to them? But I think that they're just taking a break throughout the off season. But if I hear anything different, I'll let you know. Nick Nation says, Ron, which one you take, Landry Shamet or Ben Simmons? I mean, listen, hey, I've said it already. Landry Shamet is my guy because I just think I like the fact that he can knock down threes. So, and if you give him an opportunity to play, he can do that. So I think the Knicks need that. Spacing the floor is important, but also having somebody who can knock down the shots is even more important. But I do understand the reasoning for wanting the Ben Simmons and what he can do. I just I like Shamet. But if they bring in Ben Simmons and it works, I'm not going to be mad at it. I know what they're trying to do, and I think it makes sense. But that's just my opinion. I'm not listening to the Giants hate Wolverines and Nick Apocalypse. Every team goes through moments where their team is not good and they have to find a way to dig themselves out of the doldrums. Usually it doesn't take teams as much time as it's taken the Giants, but you have to look at the hiring and the people that you've put in place and the decisions that were made. And, our former quarterback was a big investment. And, that took a lot of years off of the Giants going in a new direction. But don't worry, because like I said, everything is a cycle. And as much as you like to look at the Giants in the one way, as every team goes through it, they will be back on top eventually. Don't know when, but everything comes in cycles. I can't say that they have an incompetent GM either, because the GM has only been there for a couple years, and I can't say that all the moves he's made have been bad. I mean, look at who he's drafted lately, and look at his defensive guys that he's drafted. The young dudes that people weren't even expecting to make big dividends, and these dudes are balling. Like, they got some no-name guys that have really starting to make a name for themselves. But you have to continue to build up the rest of the team in order to see the success level. If I'm good at safety and my defensive line is spotty and my cornerbacks are shaky, you ain't going to really see the full impact of what I can do out there. But if you start building up the defensive line and you get adequate cornerbacks, it's a trickle down, right? It's the offense of the other team is trying to find where's the holes, where's the weaknesses. They're going to test it. But when they test it, you build up these other spots. I'm a lurk and I'm going to eat. Give it some time. Don't worry. We here to shock the world, baby. They said it couldn't be done. We showed them. Let's go. Prezi the boss is in the building. What up, Prezi? Salute to the General, SKF, Army Ron, the Teflon Don. Let's go. You love Joanne. Although she keeps you congested, you keep coming back. That's a fact, right? What is it? So good. Man, I'm trying to talk Knicks. You hit me with the Giant stuff. This offensive line is not that bad. Think about it like this. Offensive line, Evan Neal switched to guard. Evan Neal has looked pretty good at guard, right? How do you say this guy's name? Mboa. I don't know how to say it. I got to get that down. Anyway, the young rookie guy that they got has been fantastic on the outside, and they have looked pretty good, giving our quarterbacks time in the pocket in the preseason so far, and in practices they've looked pretty good, giving these guys time. Except obviously when they played, the Jets were ferocious; they were coming at them. But guess what, guys? We're talking about this, and our best offensive lineman, one of the best in football, hasn't played yet. I am not that worried about the offensive line at the moment. I feel like the offensive line looks pretty good. And when our best offensive lineman comes back, we are going to be okay. I think we're going to be fine. And we also have guys. You guys notice there's also a pattern with the fact that the Giants currently have 4 quarterbacks, and all 4 quarterbacks have mobile ability to them. Now, I know you say our other guy that we got rid of had mobile ability too, but these guys make quicker decisions with the football. Do you notice that's the pattern? Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, and the Italian stallion, the Paisano. They all make quicker decisions with the football. So therefore, even if the offensive line is going through some issues, they are making moves despite that. And that's what I think was the biggest issue with our former quarterback. He was like a deer in headlights. He got stuck a lot. He couldn't read the field. You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta have a good recognition of your reads down the field. And he had tunnel vision, right? And not only did he have tunnel vision, he was slow in his movement. And when you're slow in your movement, that's how you become one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. Unfortunately, you got to be able to move out the pocket, because then the reason why I say that, thank you to the Giants for, picking up that backup quarterback. I forgot his name now. Damn it. He was with Buffalo all those years. I'm bad with names sometimes. But when he came to the Giants, he had to play, especially when Daniel Jones. I said it. Oh, no, I'm cursed. No, when the former quarterback got hurt, and he had the same protection that he had, yet he was able to get out the pocket. He was still able to get passes off. Mm-hmm. I got to look at it for what it is. Do I believe I had a lot of faith. I was defending this guy for many years and going to war with my friends. But at a certain point, it moves from, okay, now it's not about the offensive line. Now it's about you. And the offensive line still needs work, but there's certain things that you could have done. We could have at least moved the ball. All right, let's move on. Okay. Yeah. JJ thinks Atlanta is our biggest obstacle. Nah, man. Orlando is good, bro. The only thing that stopped Orlando is their health. But realize how good Orlando was before they got hurt. And they're bringing back a lot of the same players. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jalen Ivy is good, and he should help Detroit. It's true. I just think that some people forgot how many people were hurt on Orlando last year. They lost a lot of people. Remember that game where we played Orlando and we played a team that had nobody and we still lost to them? Mm-mm-mm. That was one of the worst. All right. President Boss says continuity. Can we focus on that instead of trying to trade players before we play a game? This is why the elite teams are elite. Keep the core together and make small tweaks. I can dig it. Shout out to Just Knicks in the building. Salute. What's going on? Mets, Knicks fans, let's go. Salute Ron. The Mets stink. What WTF happened to them, Ron? I don't know, bro. This is crazy, man. Crazy. It's not an utter collapse yet either. There's still like 9 games over 500, something like that. But it's just, this is ridiculous. Every time they just can't get out of their own way, bro. Last night they put up 9 runs and lost. Like, what are we doing? Oh, it's terrible. Shout out to my guy Jay Chosen in the building. What up, Jay Chosen? Peace, my brothers and sisters. What's happening? E. Gibson is in the building. Said Orlando coach Mosley was in the coach of the year conversations before the injuries hit them last season. No, I know. Orlando was cooking. I was surprised at how so many people on Orlando got hurt. That's why I think people forget Orlando had a lot of injuries, almost like very similar to the Knicks injuries 2 years ago when the Knicks had all those guys out. Orlando had a lot of guys hurt. Hmm. All right. So let me put this link out there just in case anybody wants to jump on. Let's get it cracking. Shout out to Kareem Grant in the building. What up, Kareem? What up, twin? Said salute everyone. Ron, my guy. What up? Good to see you, my guy. Once again, guys, if y'all haven't checked out last night's show, the content, I was talking about Mets for about an hour. Check out State of the Game from last night's show. It was therapeutic for me. That's why I needed to do it. I needed to do it. Once again, shout out to everybody tuned in on YouTube, X, and today, Kick. You know, Kick is a little different. We're trying something new. I know Kick is really it's a streaming service based on a lot of gaming, but we'll see. And who knows? Maybe there'll be some gaming. Maybe it'll be still Nick fans SKF 2K action. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. All right. Bring my guy in here. Bing. Why is this a 3-man? Oh no. What the hell? There we go. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, I can go back to the 3-man. Nice. Hey, look at that. We got Shaw Powers in the building. Hey, Chosen in the building. Yeah, I'm your man, Rose.
Salute.
What's going on, fellas?
I'm tired as hell.
What's going on?
We here. So first off, before we get into the schedule stuff, which I know everybody's talking about, I just don't, and I got to look at how I talk about the schedule. We did get a new coach. I talked about a little bit on my little walking and talking. His name is TJ Saint. And I tried, I gotta tell you, man, once again, I'll say this again, and I hope it's not misunderstood. I try to find information on these coaches. It's not easy. When they're not a head coach, it's not, you can't get a lot on these guys. But I will say, as I said before, apparently TJ Saint is a pretty smart coach. They like what he knows in regards to offense. And they think he's going to be a really good addition to Mike Brown's team, along with Chris Gent. So, hey, if people are talking about it around the league like he's a good hire for the Knicks, then that's all I can say. Hey, I'm good with it. I'm hoping it turns out to be the same thing. And I like the fact that he's a younger coach. Like, he's a young looking guy, so that's good too. We'll take
55, right?
Yeah,
I'm like 50.
He looks younger. I mean, I thought he was younger than that, but he looks younger.
Me too. I thought he was 55, like 45.
Wait, no.
55 is young, man. 55 is young. Stop it.
Shut
55 is shit. Stop it. 55 is young.
Compared to what?
No. Chris Gent is
the 56. That's right.
Chris Gent is 55. So TJ Saint is 37. So
yeah, that's the new youngest one. That's right. The other one is 55. Right. Jet is 55.
Jet is 55.
Shaw just wanted him to be up there with him. That's all. It was all right.
He still look good.
Look, I'm gonna get this out the way real quick, if it's all right.
Yeah.
Look, the sky is not falling for all my Mets fans. Bad times, but we got plenty of time. We're about to play the Phillies. We're about to play the Reds. We're about to play all the people in front of us, and we need to get that lineup in order. But you got to have faith, just like everything else. You're going to fall apart, be sour, be pessimistic, all that stuff. All you're going to get is that stuff. I believe in them. We're going not just to play us. We're gonna make damage. I believe it. That's okay if you don't believe it. I believe it.
I hear that. Okay.
Just like I believe in the Knicks, I believe same thing.
So let me see here. I see Nostalgic Nick says never heard of these coaches, but how many assistant coaches are you aware of on teams? Like, I don't be tracking assistant coaches when I look at teams. They don't announce them. When you at a game, I don't even pay attention if they even say assistant coach. Now I listen for the head coach. I don't know these guys. So yeah, I mean that's one way of looking at it. Wolverine says I only want smart young modern NBA coaches that have never been fired. Well, to my knowledge, TJ Saint has never been fired. He's 37 years old. He's an offensive coach. Let's give him a shot. Let's see what he can do. Let's see.
Yep.
Give it a shot,
I like
man.
that mixture of the young and the
yeah. You need a little of that. You need that. I wonder how old Dice was, or is, should I say? I don't know how. Dice seems like he's pretty young. I don't know how old Dice is. Let me see. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, it got to be very careful.
Dice.
It's gonna be under 40.
Yeah, right. You think so? Let's see.
See, when you look for these people, when you look for these coaches and stuff, that's all you'll get. You can find out his age, you can find out where he was born, but you ain't gonna find out too much more about him for some reason. It's hard to find.
Okay, 1981. 44.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No. Yeah.
80?
81.
Yeah, that's about 44. Right.
Yep, 44. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, they bring in TJ Saint. I think that's a lot of coaches. I don't have I wish, and no one's given me the full name of the, I would think somebody put this together, but I didn't see it. So let's look at this here. We've got Mike Brown, TJ Saint, Chris Gent, Brendan O'Connor. I forgot the guy's name, dark-skinned fellow from Sacramento that was one of Mike Brown's people.
Yeah, came over with Brown.
You got the few dude from Sacramento. So that's 6 right there. I think that's everybody he's added.
The three holdovers.
Right. Brunson.
That's 9.
Rick Brunson and
Bryant.
Yeah, and
Cheeks. That's 9. That's a lot of coaches. I don't know. Is there more that I'm missing? That's a lot of people.
I mean, do you need more?
I
don't even know how many more do you need.
A lot of people. So I don't know. I think that's. I mean, we did see that they, the Knicks coaching contingency. There'd be them seats like, who's these dudes? Like, I don't know. Plus, we had a little bit of overkill last year. We had 2 dudes doing the same thing. Like, because remember, Othello Harrington was the big man coach, and then they brought in Mark Bryant. So we in essence had 2 big man coaches. And I don't know, I guess they kind of divvied up different things to do. And that's the reason why I guess, Othello was expendable is what it is.
Not to mention the fact that we really didn't have big men until the end of the year. I mean, it was kind of tough to have. What are you doing?
Yeah, true. And you also had a outside consultant in Patrick Ewing.
That's a big man that should have been behind the bench. Like, anyway,
I hear you. So
I'm impartial to
you're not the only one, bro. There's a lot of people that want Patrick Ewing to be a part of the staff. But then on the flip side, like I said, maybe Patrick Ewing doesn't want to be a part of the staff. Maybe he's happy in his current role. It's not stressful. He's around the Knicks. He's at the Garden. He can still add his 2 cents when he wants to. He's getting paid. You know what I mean? Maybe he likes this role. I'm sure coaching is not easy. And I would think, like I said, when I was bringing it up before, I felt like how they treated him in Georgetown gave him a sour taste. And that's his alma mater. He would do anything for that team and brought them to great heights. But, when his guys got injured, they treated him like he was the issue. And I don't think that was fair. So, see, Wolverine's like, Ewing was a terrible college coach. Look at Georgetown's record and their play when everybody was healthy on Georgetown. Then look at them once he dealt with all the injuries. This is why context matters.
Let's put it out there, Wolverine. Big fact. That's a big fact.
But I hear you, though. I hear you. This is how it looked. And that's why he got fired. But, so outside of that. Okay.
I mean, right now, I have a big problem with, not to switch it back and forth, but I have a big problem with Carlos on the Mets, the Carlos Mendoza. I don't like what he's doing. But the moment that somebody doesn't like what you're doing, the team goes down a little bit, you're out of here. So
mm-hmm. I mean, that's true. Once you're in that situation, it's over, and the coaches are always the first to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. But anyway, are you guys concerned? Before I move on, are you concerned that Kevin McCullough Jr. Won't be given the rookie contract, and that if the Knicks want to keep him here, they're going to have to put him on another two-way deal?
I think I was joking about this, but I think they're gonna let go of Tyler and bring McCullough and maybe Simmons or Shamet back to the team with Muhammad. Bring three fresh guys, and give Tyler Kohler to Brooklyn so he could get some playing time. He's 24, I think. He's 23, 24. Brooklyn don't have no point guard right now. We get 2 trade backs. We've been doing trades with Brooklyn the last couple of times. Maybe that could be something that we could let him go. Bring McCullough, Simmons and Shamet plus Muhammad to the roster. Now you're talking about going from a 10-man roster to extending it to almost a 12-man roster if you really want to look at it that way.
Oh, so you're saying this because you want to have Shamet and Simmons?
Yeah, I think that's what I think. I'm not me. I like Simmons. I think he would do great on this team with what he done. If he could get 60% of what he did in Brooklyn, 70% of what he did and the last year that he played, he could come over here and really, with the great guys that we got over here, he can bring himself out of the rut. He's coming over here for a $2 million contract. I mean, that means that he's on his end. His next contract ain't gonna be no more than $10 million. Well, he's gonna go for $10 million. Who's gonna pick him up if his last contract is only $2 million? Who's gonna stand him 3 to 5 years now to put him on a contract for $15 million for 3 years for $45 million? If you your last I'm just saying, not saying he can't get it, but I'm just saying your contract you about to get right now is $2.7 million. Only way that you're going to get another $15 million contract is if you ball out here in New York. You know what I mean? I don't see him. He's 29 right now. You know what I mean? And with all the attributes that he got out there, his defense and all the stuff, he's getting older, and he still can't shoot the basketball. So, is it possible that you could trade Tyler Kolek right now and bring in 2 more players that you want, plus you have a young veteran? Who knows? And I mean, you could bring Paint in here. Paint look like he looked like he hungry. What's the young 19-year-old, 6'8" guy? Come on, you want another point guard? You don't want to get Ben Simmons? Then you bring him up. You want to let Tyler Kohler go to bring this young guy up and start him off early. So this way, by end of December, he's in depth into the lineup. He's knowing how to play NBA basketball, and he's seen all these teams almost 2 times, or at least once. Majority of these teams now by December, and he'll be more ready for the year.
Interesting.
I think that's very interesting. That's very well in depth. To be honest, the other day when we were talking about it on Knicks Real Talk, I got sold on the Ben Simmons for a minute.
It's easy to get hooked in on him because of what he could bring to this team. He's not a point guard.
Right. Because I was looking for a point guard and also a stretch, 3 to 5, which is what he is.
Mm-hmm.
He can do all the above. Right.
Yeah.
And then, you look around and you talk about pure, and what our needs are and what everything like that. And somebody who has pure athleticism, but maybe is, incredibly erratic and in Westbrook, right? And then you look around and that second unit especially, and you say, well, we have Hart if he's not going to be starting. We have Clarkson, right? We have all these people that do similar versions of all, what Westbrook brings. But out of the two players, because here's my big problem, and I just got to get this out there. Like Simmons, we talk about what Simmons did in Brooklyn. What did he do in Brooklyn? And maybe it's because I didn't pay attention, and forgive me if I'm missing something. But what did he do? I mean, I know life is usually a "what have you done for me lately" type of life, but the truth is, wasn't he like 4-4-3 or 5-4-2? And this guy picked number one or whatever had 3 first team.
Well,
defense.
Just because you asked, I'll let you continue. I just first season he was 7-6-6. Second season he was 6-8-6, and the third season he was 6-5-7.
So
and the last
above
season,
6 in the first line.
I'm sorry. Say
the
that again?
last.
Oh no, I'm hold on. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say, Shah.
Oh, the last season, that's when KD and whatchamacallit had left. I mean, that was gone when he did those numbers, if I'm not mistaken. The first two seasons, I think KD and Kyrie were there. Those first two when he got 8, 7, and 8 and all that stuff. I mean, those are good numbers for only playing 24. I think he was I don't want to misquote myself, but I think he was under 25 minutes a game then too.
Yeah, the first year he averaged 26 minutes, the second year 24 minutes, and the third year 25 minutes. Yeah, so around
about 25 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, can we agree that this man is more than that? Like, well, or maybe he's not. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he's more than that. I think that's what he is since he did it 3 years.
He's capped out there.
I think that's where he is right now. He was more than that with Philadelphia, but yeah, I think this is what he is.
For a little while.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, look, I think it's a bigger deal. I think it's incredible. Mental health is incredibly important, and I wish to God he could get himself together, because no one wants to see, no matter what. I don't want to speak for anybody. I'm going to speak for me. Right? I don't want to see anybody injured, mentally or physically, and I want to see them get to the best heights that they can be, especially if they're not harming anybody. This man's not harming anybody. Right? If you're harming somebody, that's a different situation. Then we'll deal with that. But he has gone through so much of that stuff, Ron, that I don't know bringing him here is going to change that, right? I mean, I do see our team. I see our team like the Cats with the arm around the back, and Brunson, even Hart to a degree, but he's more of a, come on, man, what you doing? Let's go, emphasizing himself. But I agree with that last one. I didn't agree with a lot of the things he said so far, but I do agree with what Wolverine just said. To me, he hasn't really been good for the last 5 years, at least, is what I'm saying.
Right. But I think what, as fans, what we're looking at as value of a player is different from what the organization looks at as value. I think the organization looks at it as, I think the Knicks are only concerned about the fact that when he played 25 minutes or more, he was giving you 6 and 6 like 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and not to mention, solid defense. I think that's all they care about. They don't care about him scoring. They know he's not a weapon. They know he can't shoot. They know he don't affect the game in that way, the way he at least did before because of his athleticism. I think they look at and I don't know, like I haven't looked at this recently, but I think when you look at the Knicks, I don't think anybody outside of Brunson comes close to 6 or 7 assists, right? I think the other thing is they know the Knicks also have issues with their small forward / power forwards rebounding. OG and McCall are not good rebounders. So having a guy like Ben Simmons with his height who can give you 6 or more rebounds depending on how many minutes he plays, along with the assist and defense, I think that's all they look at. I think that's what they're hoping for, because that'll add to some of the issues that this team has. That's only way I could look at it, bro, because I agree with you. I know Ben is not who he was, and I know offensively he is nothing fancy or nothing desirable, but I think that those other numbers that are pretty still high, even though he's not the same guy.
All right. To piggyback over what you're saying,
one more thing. I just want to also tell you that the year with the Clippers, he only was averaging 16 minutes. So this past year with the Clippers, it was only playing 16 minutes.
Was he on injury management? Like, why 16 minutes?
Knows? Maybe, I don't know, but that's all he was getting.
It was the people that was in front of him. There was
Powell and everybody.
Yeah, all of those guys.
Coffee. You have obviously Kawhi. You've got they had a lot of and good skilled tall people over there.
They had two 7-footers for a few minutes, and then they had Zubac and all the other whatever. But,
yeah. They have good height. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. What I was gonna say is, if you're looking at it purely as a 10th man situation, right? That type of thing. Mm-hmm. Sure. We couldn't get that out of our second man on the bench last year.
True.
Those numbers, right?
True.
So it's very sports is a quick turnover, and short memory has happened all the time. Now, that's good and bad, right? Because the good in that is you don't have to sulk for forever, and you don't have to feel that pain for too long. We're about to turn over and start a new season. Second, but the other part is that we forget that we got no bench last year. No bench. So right now we're just talking about pieces to add to what they went out and actually did. Going to get the Clarkson, going to get the Belly, going to get, all that people being healthy this time around, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say this, be completely honest. I thought they were going to trade Mitch right after this season, due to that he was at the most tradable, most get back for him at that moment, because he had proven that he could move it around, whatever, and stuff like that. And he's coming to the end of the contract. I thought it would have been I thought that's what they were going to be looking at. But now we're talking about the 10th man at this particular time. And if you could get those numbers with a guy who could potentially, and, also guards the perimeter, he plays defense. Why not? I mean, if you're looking for a guy who's going to be fun to watch and add to that team of maybe Deuce. No, I'm switching gears here real quick. Deuce, Westbrook, Hart, Clarkson, Yabusele, run and gun and just doing that type of stuff. That sounds pretty fun, but doesn't sound like a ton of defense. So You're talking about the 10th man, it's the 10th man. You know, that's what it is. So for me, that, you know, I hope they make a smart move. I don't want them to just. I tell you what I don't want, and no offense to anybody who liked it. I don't want a PJ Tucker who's just going to sit there and not play, and then get the, you know, and then come in and. Yeah, but I know it's a different coach, like, and I know that we're in a different era now, and I know we don't have to worry about all like necessarily. Well, we don't. You know what? To tell you the truth, we don't know what we have to worry about right now.
We don't.
We don't know a damn thing.
It's still early.
He could be legitimately the same exact way, but it's 10th man. We don't have to get all, you know, just talking about it. So,
yeah,
in my opinion, I would go for either him or I would go for Westbrook. I wouldn't go for anybody else, and I'm not quite sure. Or I would go for you know who I like, the kid that you kept talking about, Luka Skuka. Bring Luka Skuka in, and I'd be a happy camper.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Listen, I hear you on the PJ thing. I think the Knicks don't need that this year. Last year, I thought a PJ was important to have. You know, you can kind of gauge your team and see what they need. Like the Knicks lost a little bit of something without. Every year they've had some type of cheerleader, right? But and I think those people have helped. But Theo Pinson and I forgot the other Villanova guy. I'm forgetting his name now. Archie Diacono. You know, you need these guys sometimes, but the Knicks are a championship-bound team. They really don't need that anymore. They should, and they had PJ Tucker last year, so he was here to also not only give the team some experience and a little bit of grit, you know, somebody to talk to them in these tough situations to understand how to handle themselves. And he was here, and he did that. He talked to Cat. He talked to these guys. He talked to Josh Hart at times when Josh was struggling, and I think Josh needed that. You know, I think now that's done. I think now it's all about having the best possible players out there to help you win. And the other thing too is, so here's another thing before I get to coach and we get to the schedule. The Knicks still have to address the elephant in the room that thankfully has not crept up. And that is kind of going back to Sherwin's thing that he said earlier today about depth. Do we have depth? And we need depth because right now we're looking at it as, hey, everybody's healthy. What do we need to round out the roster? What are we missing? But let's not forget, there's no guarantees, even though we have a great training staff now. Guys can get hurt. And if guys can get hurt, so this is what scares me a little bit. And I understand, and you know, there's no knock on what you were saying, Shaq, because the whole thing about having Shamet and Simmons is interesting. I know that's been something that's been floating around. But my whole thing is we don't know anything. God forbid. I mean, this past year was the first time Brunson got really hurt in the season. We lost him for 15 games. Would you want to be in a situation where you have Landry Shamet and Ben Simmons here and you trade Tyler Kolek to Brooklyn and, for God forbid, knock on wood, Jalen Brunson goes down for a little bit, and you need Ben Simmons to run the offense. And now some people might be happy with that, but for the people that question Ben Simmons and can he do it and play, you know, valuable minutes, that might be something that's a little, bless you. That might be something that's a little hairy for people. And I know
very hairy.
It's very hairy, but I know Knick fans, if God forbid something did happen like that and Brunson had to sit out for a combined amount of games, because he does push himself, you know, he gets beat up, some things happen, and then you got to watch Tyler Kolek on Brooklyn, and those same fans are gonna be like, so why do we trade Kolek, man? We knew this could happen. You know what I mean? We always second guessing each other. So I'm just more worried about depth and making sure that we're okay at these different positions, because last year, like, I feel like 2 years ago was an anomaly. 6 or 7 guys hurt at the same time. Ridiculous. This past year, to me, is an anomaly as well. Basically, nobody hurt until the very end of the season. Like, you can't look at these things and say both going to be true this year. We might be somewhere in the middle, but I'm hoping for the best. Anyway, Coach, What's your thoughts on everything, my brother?
Good morning. Happy Saturday, gentlemen.
Good
Thanks for having me.
What's up, Coach?
I love all your points you're making. Just like Jay was saying, when you're talking about someone that possibly might be the 9th or 10th guy on the bench, someone we're going to be paying the vet minimum, someone that might have moments where he plays 25, 30 minutes. There might be some games he only plays 8 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe not even play. When you're talking about those expectations, we have to one of the biggest things that fans do of all teams is whether they do it outwardly or not, they lay down an expectation of a player on their team. And then their opinion of that player becomes based on how he performed against your expectation of him. So because Ben Simmons up to this point has been the number 1 pick, has had big contracts, the expectations of a guy like that is up here. So obviously everyone's going to consider his production at what he was expected of as a number 1 pick, and the salaries he was getting he's trash. But if you look at him as a minimum salary player and his production per minute, what he does in his all-around game,
completely different.
Whether he can shoot it or not, he's always over 55%, whether it's just layups or floaters, whatever. He can defend all 5 positions. He can dribble with both hands and chew gum at the same time and not dribble off his own foot like 2 of our starting wings do sometimes. I love Mikal Bridges and OG, but they look like they got 2 left hands dribbling sometimes. So does Josh Hart. And that what we need, and this is something you guys were talking about, some of the needs we have on this team, he fulfills the needs of what we need from 2 players. He does things on the offensive side, like he can run a fast break, he can dribble the ball, and he can distribute for people. That's something we don't have on our bench right now on offense. But what's something we need on our bench on defense, like after if Mitch doesn't start, we'll have some paint defense. He's someone that in turn on defense can cover the 1 through 5. Like we saw him defend Jokic. We saw him defense. Yeah, we see so he can defend a big wing on the other team, the Boncheros of the world, and the Tatums, guys like that. And it's not like we need him to defend these guys for 25 minutes straight. That coach is gone. We need guys like that to spell OG for 5 minutes, then come back in later in the game, spell him for another 5 minutes, defending the other team's better, bigger guy, So when you're looking at those expectations of a vet minimum player, he exceeds any vet minimum player that the Knicks have even dreamt of having since I've been a Knicks fan.
Facts. Because
we've never had a vet minimum player even play on our team. They usually just sit on the bench and never play.
PJ Tucker.
I mean, and when you try to start comparing, yes, Landry Shamet is scrappy. I think if he gets more minutes, he can make some threes, but he can only defend, a certain type of player. He's
limited. He a point guard?
And he's not naturally a point guard. We already brought in if we assume Yabusele and Clarkson both are going to be pretty much full-time bench pieces, we have scores off the bench. We actually don't need any more scoring. Like I can't believe I'm even saying this, but
with Josh Hart,
yeah,
sorry,
it's fine because even Josh Hart, like we're forgetting, Josh Hart can be a 12 to 14 point a game scorer off the bench, and it's not like he's shooting the lights out. He just like people look at points per game, and people just think about shooting. Yeah, sometimes you just get points in the paint. I mean, last I checked, Shaquille O'Neal wasn't a jump shooter, and he averaged 30 points a game, in the paint. I know the NBA is different now, but we have, when you're talking about a team as good as we are, like the first, especially our top four guys that are the concrete starters, that fifth spot, we don't have to have a full-time fifth starter. That could be a rotation starter that is depending on matchups. Like the games we play against, Cleveland, who's got starts too big, or the Thunder, like have Yabusele or Mitch start those games. The games where the teams have a little more wings and guards, like that, those are games where maybe even Clarkson or Deuce start, So like we had that ability to, and even look, I know this might be crazy to hear from some people, someone like Ben Simmons can start, all because all because you start.
That's what I'm talking about.
It don't mean you staying in the game for 30 minutes.
That's right.
I've seen championship teams like the Bulls in the 90s have starting centers that were nobodies. Like they had none of their starting centers was a top 500 player of all time. I mean, you're talking guys like Luke Longley, Bill Wennington, Cartwright was a shell of himself when he was there. Like these are the kind of guys that started at center, and they started, but they only averaged like 12, 15 minutes a game. All because you start a game don't mean you're the best choice. Like you just, there's so many different scenarios where having that player on your team that gives you versatility. If you just throw in another player like Deuce, like we're limited. If we bring in a guy that's versatile and can fulfill a different need every night, like some nights we might need Simmons to defend a guy that's off the bench on the other team that's, doing well. That's like you don't expect. Some nights we might need him to bring the ball up the court or be on the court with Brunson, And I really think, I know people are hating on it, that Westbrook can provide those things too if really we had to. Like we got to stop the mindset of thinking that these two guys are the $20 million, $25 million, $30 million expectation guys anymore. They're not.
Right.
And neither of them, except for Westbrook, if you want to keep it a buck, he's been playing on a championship level team for the past couple of years, and he's been a big part of those teams still off the bench. Like he's been a very big contributing player. Now,
FYI, I would take Westbrook before Simmons. That's
like at this stage in his career, like Westbrook is actually, you're never gonna not like Westbrook isn't known for his defense per se, but in this stage of his career, he's put more energy in that department. Like he's got that effort, like kind of like how we think of Shamet defensively. You don't think of him as a defender, but you watch him in games, and he does these like scrappy little defensive things. Like I've seen Westbrook do those things too.
Yeah, I can agree with that. He definitely, Shamet shows the effort, but sometimes the results ain't always there.
Yeah. Now, is Westbrook gonna jack up a shot here and there that we're like, oh wait, yeah. But you know what? We got some pretty good rebounders too on our team. So
Blacks.
and usually we have good offensive rebounders. So that what we got to remember, especially with Simmons, these past couple of years has been in a crossroads of, when you're a professional athlete, you have an ego, you have a certain, it factor, some balls, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, whether it's because of the injury thing that happened with his back or whatever it was, and just his own disappointment of expectation, they're human. He's in a transformation right now in his life. And especially you think about when we're all a little longer in the tooth on the battle. When we were around 28, 29 years old, that's when we kind of started looking at life different, looking at our responsibilities different. I got to look in the mirror, bro. I need to grow up. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully people did that, yeah.
And Ben Simmons, he hasn't been in a situation where he's got the kind of team around him and the kind of players that he might thrive in our environment here with the kind of players we have, because he's not going to be expected to do all the things
exactly
him to do. So the pressure ain't on him
anything
anymore.
extra is a bonus. Anything extra is a bonus.
Yeah. So like, and anything he does is a bonus. It's only a vet minimum. So that's what happened to Deuce this past year. We all started expecting more from Deuce this year, and all he really did was do about the same he did the year before, maybe shoot a little worse,
Yep.
And everyone's like, get rid of, not everyone, but we're all a lot of people disappointed in Deuce and Matt. The Knicks aren't happy. They brought in Clarkson. They brought in, they're bringing in people because he didn't produce, but now this next year, Deuce does something like, oh, see, I told you Deuce is back. But because I'm not expecting much from Deuce this year. I'm going to be honest. Because when you start expecting a certain level of something from somebody and they don't reach it, we overreact. Like, sucks, He was look what happened with Bridges. Any other time the Knicks get someone from a trade or another team and have the season that Bridges had, no matter what we gave up or not, we'd be happier than, pigs and and slop, But because we gave up 5 picks and this, like Bridges needed to be a first team All NBA. It's the only time way people would have been happy, So now this year, I still have expectations, from him.
All of them, Coach. Everybody, I expect bigger things from everybody this year because of how close they got last season. I expect bigger things, less minutes with better percentages. I expect better things. I expect that Jalen Brunson's scoring may go down 2 to 3 points to 24 points, but I think he'll have 9 to 10, right? 9 to 10 assists this year. I think he'll be closer to a double this year with better assists because they know where everybody's going to be this year. I think with the implement of Mitchell Robinson, if they put him in the starting lineup, it's going to help because Mitchell Robinson is coming back from an injury, and he's healthy. This guy's working out right now. When the last time you seen Mitchell Robinson? Every time I see Mitchell Robinson on TikTok or Instagram, he's shooting free throws. Baseball hat on, cowboy music in the back. High shorts on, cowboy music in the back. You know what I mean? He got on a colorful shirt, cowboy music in the back. You know what I mean? So that I'm not down on him. I love that, and he is healthy this year, so he has more time to focus on things that he hasn't been able to focus in years prior. So I'm happy to see what the Knicks are doing. You see Jalen Brunson coming out being a spot up shooter, a catch and shoot guy this year. I really think one of the main reasons why I think the Knicks and Mike Brown is looking for Sims is because of him pushing the pace, like Coach said, and I also agree with you that start Ben Simmons because you push the pace. Now Jalen Brunson doesn't get stopped at half court like he did last year. He doesn't see 4 players trying to stop him to create. Now you get Sims over here to help him control the pace, and he can pass, and he's bigger than majority of the shooting guards and power forwards. You know, right there, he's 6'10". He's bigger than majority of them, so he can get the pass to people. It takes the pressure off of him, and now he can facilitate the pass to Jalen Brunson. And one of the big things that he talked about with Deuce McBride this year, pop and drop, spot up shooting, because they want to push the pace this year. They want to push the pace to the paint and kick the ball out. And all the guys that we had last year, we had that type of way we played basketball like that last year, more than a half-court style of basketball, more of a pushing the pace type of thing. Oh, man, we'd have been great last year. And I say this, and I say this a lot. First year, I am so impressed with what the team did last year with 51 wins, 2 games away from the finals. I mean, that's impressive with no bench.
None.
Everybody's talking about upgrades to all these other teams and all that stuff. We got the best 3 upgrades if you want to look at it. If we put Josh Hart in the second unit, you guarantee Josh Hart's getting 8 and 8 every game, like a Westbrook. You guarantee that Yabusele is going to probably get 8 and 8, 8 and 4, 5, or something like that. You're guaranteeing that Deuce McBride now can really not be the focus like he was last year. He was the only guy that you really could focus on. Campaign, he could shoot. Shammer wasn't healthy, but you had no one everybody focused on Deuce this year. This year doesn't have to be a focus on him. So on Clarkson to score the basketball. Deuce could be that off shooter, that pop and drop, that kick it out to him and shoot the open 3-point shot, be easy and then less pressure on him. Last year, I think his average was 9 points last year. I think he dropped down from the year before, which was 11. I think this year he could go up to 14, 15. All 3 of these guys that we just mentioned, Josh Hart, Clarkson, and Deuce McBride, could all be runners up for 6th man of the year this year if they play their cards right, depending on who's going to be that 6th man, because all 3 of these guys are going to put intricate help into that second unit that we didn't have last year. Everyone's talking about. I'd be happy if we get to top 10, but if we get to 12, last year we were 30th and we scored 22 points. So 18th must be about 28 points, 30 points, where we wanted the team to be last year, about 28 to 30 points. About 25 points. So 18 got to be somewhere around trying to do them. 18 got to be somewhere around there. 25, 27 points a game. I'm happy with that. We didn't get that last year. If we get that, that makes us a more effective team. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy. And one of the big things. The big thing with quick Simmons, I like him because of his 5. He can play 5 positions. Rotations at the top of the thing would be phenomenal.
And look, I've been saying this for a very long time. I said it with on here a lot. That what you just said, Sha, about not being trapped, Brunson not having to do like everything with the basketball. I've always said I believe he's a combo guard, right? We've been talking about that a lot. I talk about it on Mondays. I talk about it here. I talk about with Divine and Sha. I talk about it everywhere. I do believe that whatever we get, we need to get. You see, and I'm so torn by this because of past events. So I got to look forward from where we are right now, right? And I do believe that we need a combo guard, a guard that could do something besides just being a guard. Because I also believe that this entire time that Jalen Brunson's a combo guard. He's not a full-fledged point guard. He made himself into one. He's built like what we would think is a full-fledged point guard. He raised his assist numbers, but the fact of the matter is, I still think that he is not a sole number 1, a sole PG. He's a combo. He's a 1-2. And if you could get somebody, and I'm going to say it until them blue in the face, orange and blue in the face. I'm going to say this. We get somebody alongside him that could dribble the ball up, set himself free. All of a sudden now Brunson's on run, moving around. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Same guy. Same thing happens with the other guy who's bringing that ball up. It frees it up. So you know, I do hope that whatever we go after, and the good news about this is it's like Legos, right? I got little kids, so I'm gonna talk about Legos. I'm gonna say this: we got moving parts that could that interchange, and we can make different things happen. A lot of our second unit will be playing with a lot of our first unit, and so on and so forth. And let's not forget the last thing. We're talking about either Simmons or Westbrook or whoever we're talking about. We're talking about a once $30 million player for $2 million that's going to come in here that has the potential, hopefully, to have that $30 million type of game. Once or twice or 10 times or 15 times, but that is confident enough. We're talking about 10th player again. Let's not forget that part. We already settled into the bulk of our entire team. So we're just talking about this last guy. And we don't want this last guy to be just a cheerleader at this point. We want him to be part of the team. Right. So that, I mean, I think that's really where it boils down to. I'm not stuck on any one of these players. I want somebody that's going to come in and is going to contribute. But I definitely would like to see Brunson paired together with another PG, another combo guard.
Right.
And that's what I want.
If you look at Brunson, okay, I think he has more traditional point guard in him that you and others give him credit for, because you got to look.
I'm not saying he doesn't have it in him, but I'm saying he is also this.
But if you look at
things could be right at the same time.
Yeah. If you look at the scope of the NBA, a lot of the score first point guards, like all the best point guards in the league, except for if you put Halliburton up there, are point guards that get buckets. Yeah, they're not traditional point guards, you know. Even if you want to go down the line to like the Jamal Murrays of the world, and like who's the real point guard for Cleveland? Garland and Mitchell are both shoot first guys, you know. So to me, if you look at Brunson when he was with Dallas, you know, Luka was the point guard. You know, he was made to be the point guard, and Brunson wasn't able to really have that role as a traditional point guard. When he came to the Knicks, look who his coach was. Someone who, when he sees a person that's a go-to player, and when there is his point guard, he runs them into the ground and uses them too much as, like, Tibbs has always leaned on his scoring option on every team he's coached. Like, he leans on him for the whole offense to run through that one guy. That's like what his MO has been. You know, he did it with Derrick Rose, you know, and then he begrudgingly, you know, had Cat at the time, which that wasn't what he, I think, really wanted. And that's when he brought in Jimmy Butler and that old dumpster fire that happened over there. But anyway, besides all that, here, I think Brunson, with a new outlook and a new coach directing him in a certain way, and also to help Jay's point, if you have two guys, whether it's we're underplaying Jordan Clarkson's ability as a point guard on the bench, like he actually, I've watched him bring the ball to the floor a lot for Utah these last few years. He actually he's averaged 4 or 5 assists a couple times these last 2 or 3 years in Utah, and he wasn't playing like full-time minutes. And the thing is, if you can get Clarkson and Simmons / Westbrook, whoever you want to use, you give them a combined 20 to 25 minutes worth of point guard play to take the pressure off Brunson throughout the game. Then those last 5 to 8 minutes of the game, when you need Brunson in that role, he has all the energy in the world because he hasn't been grinding for 25, 30 minutes.
There it is.
Game, bringing a ball
That's
to the court.
why.
You know, he's gonna be the super clutch player of the year. You know, because he's gonna have so much.
They're gonna invent an award.
Yeah, like so. Yeah. Those are the things. A lot of times, people automatically just think, "Oh, this guy's not gonna help us. Like he's not gonna do it." The help that players bring sometimes has nothing to do with their stats. Sometimes they relieve jobs and tasks that your superstars are stuck doing and that they don't have to do anymore. Like we've all had jobs where you're having to do extra stuff because someone called out sick or you're the only one you stuck doing extra work. They ain't paying you anymore. You know, I'm still stuck doing my job and picking up the slack for the other people. So, you know, you get another person in there that knows what they're doing and can help you out. Man, I felt like I had the best day ever at work. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's like on the basketball court. You know, when stars get other people to relieve the pressure of things that they don't have to do anymore, it makes them do the things they do great even better.
True.
You know?
True.
So, like,
and that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
there. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And the thing is, with I'll do this last point, Ron, and then I'm sorry. You know, this is another Simmons. Just take a look at Simmons' idea, because everyone gets caught up on his lack of shooting and scoring and all this stuff. The things that we expect of Mitch and we love about Mitch, we don't need Mitch to score to make an impact on the game. We need Mitch to do the defensive things he does. Like, stat-wise, Mitch doesn't really even block shots. He keeps people from shooting, and people don't want to challenge him.
He makes people go east and west.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. And I have, in the past, and pretty recently, I've always been a Mitch detractor. I'm very well documented, and people ride my behind all the time of getting on Mitch's butt because I was guilty of what we're talking about before. My expectations of Mitch, because of what he was getting paid, what we were counting on him for minute-wise, and what we needed from Mitch, because we didn't have Cat yet or any of these other guys. My expectations of Mitch was up here. But this past season, I didn't expect nothing from Mitch. And I'm happier than what he did when he came back. I was ecstatic. I'm excited to have Mitch. I'm not excited to have Mitch at $20 million a year. I mean, that could be another conversation someday when we're talking about his possible extension or not, or whatever. But besides all that, that's something you got to look at. You got to look at Simmons. What the things we're going to need him to do aren't in the scoring column. Assists, rebounds.
That's it.
Defense.
Perimeter defense, inside
bringing the ball up the court. It don't matter if he scores 2 or 3 points. He's going to help other guys score 4, 5, 6 points. Extra. You know, he's going to keep the other.
And it's not that he can't score either. Everybody talks about him shooting, but the guy gets close to the basket. The guy is 6'10". He could use, like you said earlier, Coach, he could use the left or the right hand. I watched a whole lot of clips, and I know clips usually show the best part of the player. But boy, watching them best part of the player, he can score with the left. He can back you down. He can score with the right. He can go hard to the basket. He can dunk the basketball. He gets around the basket. He's 6'10", and he has hang time. So if he gets close to the basket and go up and under, he can go up, under, still not touch the floor and come back around. The guy's a big guy, you know what I mean? And if he can get into the Knicks with him, like we all talked about this, man. We ain't. I'm not thinking Ben Simmons is going to come over here and have 8 points, 14 assists, and 10, 11 rebounds. But if he can come over here and get 6, 7, and 6, you know what I mean? Whichever way you want to call it, that is a win. Especially if he's getting those numbers every night. Some nights is going to be not going to get it. Some nights is going to exceed those numbers. But the nights that he gets it, and he really gets it for the team, you're going to see it on the team. You're going to see how fast the pace the team's going to go. If he has his head on his shoulders and he knows that New York is ready to win a championship, something that he doesn't have, that changed the way he looks at things. I believe he's 29. He's never had a thing. He had all this stuff talked about him. He comes over here and wins a championship in New York Knicks. Next year, he gets a $20 million contract. Bet that.
Okay. All right. Well,
we don't need them. We don't need a lot of people at the end of the bench. We just need them to do a job, mix it together. Just a few minutes here and there, just to spell people sometimes. That's it.
Let me just say a couple things. One, what's up to people who have joined the chat? Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. L, damn it, is in the building. What's going on, L? Appreciate you as always. Good to see you. Let's go. Salute to you. Robert Woodard is in the building. That guy was cooking. We need extra defense and ball handling, especially coming off the bench. Okay. Long Island Sound is in the building. Talking about assist. E. Gibson is here. Felt like Bridges needs to be more aggressive offensively and look for his shot more. That will help his confidence. I hear that. Shout out to Bagger Jones in the building. Russ is my favorite NBA player, but he is he's terrible for the Knicks. Too many boneheads play at the wrong time. Too many bonehead plays at the wrong time. I mean, Westbrook is pretty interesting. I like what I've seen with him with the Nuggets. I don't necessarily love what I saw with the Lakers. So I've mentioned that a couple times. SAS guy, SASSS guy in the building. Josh Hart should not start next season unless there is an injury. Starters, Cat, Mitch, OG, McCall, Brunson, Yabusele should play at power forward before Josh. Okay. Salute to you. Good to see you. HRM is in the building. We need toughness. I'll take Russ all day. Okay. I hear that. Shout out to Wiz BKLA. He said, John, I'm assuming that might be Ron. Please don't say no bench last year. Or maybe he's talking about somebody else. Maybe could be somebody else. I don't know. Who was our coach 2 years ago? We were 12 deep, exclude Dante. We had Deuce, Shamit, Cam, Precious, DeLon, not to mention Huck, Porty, Tyler, Daddy, and Beauchamp. Salute to you, Wiz. Good to see you.
Thanks for reminding us of that.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick Yakin. Mitch has control of his shot this summer. His floater release is so high it couldn't be blocked. Mitch will tear up all centers. Okay. Well, I like the confidence in Mitch. Paris Doug is in the building. What up, Paris? Knicks will be better because of proper roster usage. Bridges more acclimated. Cat and Bridges self-correcting, playing faster. JB is a star. All right. Shout out to all y'all. So this is what I want to do. I want to talk about something real quick, and then I want to talk about Mitch real quick, and then show just little highlights of Mitch working out. I'm only showing this because finally Mitch is doing what I wanted Mitch to do before.
Back it down, people, and box them up.
I don't want to see Mitch people over shooting threes. Work on the stuff you should be working on as a big man, and let's go from there. All right.
Stop waxing your truck.
Yeah. Let's forget this.
The one thing I just real quick. The reason
I don't
why
want to see a trailer.
The reason why we're seeing a lot of these things from Mitchell Robinson now with these moves like that. First year he's been healthy. When the last time we seen Mitch healthy? He every year Mitch is coming back from an injury. This is the first year he's not coming back from an injury, and he's going into preseason healthy.
True, and
this is the first time he's gone into the last year of his contract.
Well, that's true too.
Think about that.
He's trying to definitely make sure.
Oh yeah, that's a contract. He's gonna get busy this year too.
And let's also not forget, this is going to be the first full year that Mark Bryant gets to work with Mitch. Listen, you gotta give guys credit if they do stuff. We don't know what they do, and Mark Bryant has been known for doing good things with big men. So maybe he's working on. Hey, Mitch, listen, I like what you're doing. I know they don't use you. You got a new coach this year. Let's work on your inside game. Let's get you to do some stuff that can really help the team and help yourself. You know what I mean? So we'll see. All right, but before I get to that, you guys saw I put up a poll. Let me close the poll now. 36 votes came in. The question was Josh Hart terrible in the playoffs this past year? 52% of you said yes out of 36 votes, and 47% of you said no. Now, the reason why I did this is because obviously Wolverine said something about I'm saying obviously, like everybody knows that. I know that. Wolverine said Josh Hart was awful in the playoffs. He really hurt the Knicks. And he also said Josh Hart got very exposed in the playoffs. And so this is something that's been going around. A lot of people, a lot of Knicks fans feel like Josh Hart was terrible in the playoffs. And, some people were even like, we need to move on from Josh Hart. So my whole thing is I couldn't be me if I wasn't me. I've told you guys in the past, I don't talk about him in the favorable sense all the time. But I've said Josh Hart is my favorite player on the Knicks. Sometimes people are like, it doesn't really show. Let me show it right now. So, now bear with me, guys. Let me just break something down for you real quick. And I'm going to go in a certain order, and you see where I get. October last year. Josh Hart averaged 14.5 points, 10.3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.3 steals. November, he averaged 13.8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.3 steals. Mind you, you still got a team with OG, McCall, Brunson, Cat. December, he averaged 15 points, 8.8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.7 steals. January, 12.9 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.7 steals. February, 18 points, 9.8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.2 steals. March, 10.9 points, 9.6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals. April, 11.5 points, 8.3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.2 steals. Let's get to the playoffs where this is where he got exposed. Versus Detroit, 11.8 points, 8.7 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 1.5 steals. Against Boston, 14.5 points, 8.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 0.5 steals. Against Indiana, 8.3 points, 9.3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals. The point of all of this is the same thing I've been saying since the season has been over for us. Everybody's looking at how he had one terrible series against one team and evaluating all of his value based on that. He had a great series versus Boston. He had a really good, solid series versus Detroit, even though Detroit was one of the best defensive teams and making it really tough. Imagine that. Everybody was struggling against Detroit in their defense all over us. Josh Hart still almost had 12 points per game with almost 9 assists, almost 9 rebounds, almost 6 assists, and 1.5 steals versus Detroit. And we're talking about he was terrible in the playoffs. And I just gave you his regular season numbers. Some of those numbers are ridiculous. For Josh Hart, who's not your first option, he's not your second option, he's not your third option, he's not your fourth option. So I just want to put that out there when we talk about Josh Hart. As I said it before, Indiana he had a bad series, but that does not show the whole picture. That doesn't mean he was terrible in the playoffs. Doesn't mean he had a bad season. Doesn't mean he was exposed. It's one series versus one team that made everybody on the Knicks look bad. Brunson didn't look good.
He ran out of gas, and we were outcoached.
That's it right there. His legs got rubbery. He ran so much, and it happened. He was a human being, man.
I got the overall question. I got the overall question. Do we start Josh Hart next year? Next season?
No.
I wouldn't.
I think what we realize is that Josh Hart.
That's to help Josh Hart, though. It's not a knock on Josh Hart. That helps Josh Hart.
And to help the Knicks, coach. That's both. It's for both.
Because
you get those numbers you just said, and you add that to the bench. It's
like
a different
Josh
world.
Hart,
and they're going to change too. Don't forget that those numbers are. If everybody assimilates the way they should and plays their position the way they should, a lot of numbers are going to change if they play not greedy basketball. If they play together, a lot of those numbers are going to change, especially from the bench and even on the starting unit. But having them on the bench, let's not forget, you talked about 2 years ago and all this other stuff. He was coming off the bench with DiVincenzo. It was a different world. We had a big man in the middle that we didn't necessarily need to score, who was playing his heart out, his eye heart out. All right. And, and the two hearts during that particular time were the gasoline for this team. So now we're looking to upgrade. I hope every year we have stepped up to the next level. For me right now, I don't care what anybody really sees in it. We went up each year. This year, it should be the championship. Mm-hmm. That is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, another thing, and I apologize. Another thing that I forgot to mention, because that is also phenomenal when we're talking about Josh Hart, right? In the Detroit series, in the playoffs versus one of the toughest defenses in the NBA, Josh Hart shot 50% from three. Ron, he barely shot. He shot almost 3 threes a game. He shot 50% from three on average. And I'm not saying, whatever. Sometimes he shot 1, sometimes he shot 2, and sometimes he shot 3. It is what it is. But he shot 50% from 3 against Detroit. Then you want to say, okay, well, that's Detroit. Against Boston, Josh Hart shot 37.9% from 3 on almost 5 attempts per game. So you telling me that he stunk it up in the playoffs? I can't do it. We got to be better than that. We got to look at things. Let's just call it what it is. But let's give the guy some credit for. And one more thing too. Let's not forget this. Once again, this team with all of these weapons, and don't get me wrong, when you have somebody like a Jalen Brunson and a Karl Anthony Towns on your team, everybody around you should eat. Everybody should get opportunities and be better because they don't want to face the big guys. They want to, make the other guys shoot. Bottom line is, the most points Josh Hart ever had was he averaged, I think, in 13 games, he averaged almost 20 points per game with Portland. But as far as a little bit more consistent, for the full season, he was with New Orleans and with Portland. It averaged out to 14.9 points in 54 games. So he averaged 13.6 points for the regular season with the Knicks. But he also averaged almost 6 assists for the season, 5.9. Of course, he's got better weapons to pass the ball to that score better. They can give him assists. But he also averaged 9.6 rebounds, almost 10 rebounds a game. And he had 1.5 steals for the season, which is his most in the NBA. So
But he
Josh
also
Hart
played.
stepped the game up.
You got to think about 4 minutes of playing time in the NBA on the floor is a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and he averaged 4 more minutes on the court than he ever has. So you when you look at those numbers, and I'm not knocking Josh, this is more a knock on the coach and how he was another one of the guys that was misused and overused. Like a lot of Josh Hart's stats and stat fillers is minutes based. I mean, people are gonna get mad for me for saying this, but if Ben Simmons played 37.6 minutes for the Knicks last year, that would have been his stat line. Like he would have averaged like 11, 10, and probably 7 or 8 assists. Easy. 9, 10, a lot of really good, just all around players. If they were given that many minutes, they're gonna. But we use him as a power guard. That's what I call him. Like he was misused. If we just think of Josh Hart as a shooting guard that's not a knockdown 3-point shooter, and his value is that much better because he's a shooting guard that can rebound the hell out of the ball. And if we temper his responsibilities, we don't need Josh running the offense. We don't need Josh taking the ball down on a fast break, stopping at the top of the key and turning his back to the basket, and then jumping to pass the ball to anybody. We don't need to do. If we give Josh less responsibility, and I think he's going to flourish. His numbers going to go down a little, but he's going to have more energy. I think his shooting percentage is going to be better. Look, there's nothing wrong with it. Do we want a shooting guard to have a better than 33% shooting percentage? Of course. But most of the average of the NBA, the shooters, 3-point shooters, are in that 35 to 38%, window and from the 3-point line. Now, when you're talking guys that are always in the 40s, and those are elite shooters, and we don't need Josh to be an elite shooter. We just need him to make an open one once in a while if it's there. Just be willing to shoot it.
Beginning of the year, I think he was shooting around 37%. Towards the end of the year, it was like 34%. Come to the end of the year, we found out that he had something wrong with that middle finger that he had the operation on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I would start Josh Hart again this year, but if you want to see some minutes for Pacone Daddy from Pacone, the easiest way to get him some minutes is to start Josh Hart. You start Josh Hart, you put Pacone in that second unit. If you don't get Ben Simmons, that's all if you get PJ Tucker. But you could use Pacone in that second unit if you start Josh Hart with Clarkson and Deuce McBride. That's something to look at too. If you want to look at it that way, Josh Hart, I don't think the Knicks are going to want to start him this year. But let's be clear. Josh Hart played all. Not all the games, but he played the whole season last year. He was the starter for pretty much the whole season until the playoffs, where they made the switch. Where Tibbs decided to make the switch, but with Josh Hart being in the starting unit, we won 51 games.
Yeah, and this season with this coach, I'm looking forward to actually Dadier and even Mo Diawara getting some run. Like every team I've seen in the NBA, even some of the best teams, played second round or undrafted rookies, like some minutes, like guys you never heard of. Like every game I've watched, some guy I've never heard of was started on a team, or some guy came off the bench and scored like 8 points. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Oh, he's a rookie from Wichita State or wherever, some undrafted. You see all these teams use these players that are like, and here we can't even get a kid to play a minute. just to give him some run and get his legs under him. Yeah, I can see if we're a team that was tanking and whatever, we're a team that's trying to win. I said this a couple weeks ago on another show. Dottie is not ready to be a full-time NBA player yet, but we don't know that because he's never been put in that situation. And you can't compare G League performance because they're around a bunch of other guys that aren't in the NBA. Some guys, when you're around, like when you look at these AAU teams and these really good, that's what, unfortunately, the downfall of some of the future of the basketball sometimes. A lot of these guys that come up through the ranks, they all play on all-star teams coming up. Or everyone they play with is a top 100 player in the nation. Like, of course, you're going to play well with teams like that because everyone else on your team is good. Like back in the day when guys were coming up, you'd see the best player that came up and went to college or was drafted. They were at their high school where they were the only guy on their team and they carried their team. So they knew how to they knew about pressure, real pressure and all that stuff. Some of these kids coming up now, in the U.S. system, the AAU, they never have adversity because they have an all-star team. Like, I think Cooper Flagg is an amazing player, amazing talent. But he's always played with great players. And now in the NBA, he's spoiled. He's going to have more great players to play with. So we're never going to know what Cooper Flagg has to do. Like, LeBron was probably the last superstar coming out of high school where everything was on him, like coming out. Like, because those Cleveland teams weren't, It was a long time till he got a chance to play with Kyrie,
I mean, I hear what you're saying, Coach.
And even in high school, he stayed with his LeBron didn't have a all-star team in high school.
No, he definitely
stayed with his old boys from his middle school.
He was a beast on that team. He carried everybody. Right. He carried everybody on that team. That's a fact. I see what you're saying.
So you have someone like Josh Hart who's playing with these four other guys, Cat, Brunson, OG, and McHale. That's why Brunson's doing so great. He's the fifth cog in that,
That's fair.
That's why I think
that's fair.
That's why when Deuce does that, he looks good when he starts with other guys that are really good. That's why Precious these last 2 years, when he was actually pressed to start, he averaged a double-double. Like, these are things that, we forget. We don't know what guys could do till they're given an opportunity. I think that with Pacome Dottier's skill set, he can already defend at a high level, I think. He can defend NBA players. Does he need work on his offense and his shooting and all that stuff? Of course. I think even him, given an opportunity to get his legs under him, you can start Pacome Dottier with those other four. You can start anybody with these other four guys throughout the regular season just to see what we got.
Let me say this, Coach. Let me say this, because I see what you're saying, and I think you're making great points. I think this is all fair. I agree with you. I just wanted to say something else in reference to this because, and that's a whole nother topic. But I think fans understand. They get it that sometimes you take it for granted. You don't realize how good Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are and how much easier they make it for everybody else on the team when they're out there with them. It's incredible the amount. And I know Florence T's Uncle Freezy, my guy, always says it. You don't realize how much energy, how much attention these two dudes draw. And they make it so much easier. That's the reason why. I mean, we know that they leave Josh Hart open because percentages-wise, obviously, compared to everybody else, that's the guy you want to leave open. But, think about Josh Hart. It must be like, even though he said he was going to take one for the team and go to the bench, you don't think Josh Hart loves to be in that starting lineup because he knows he's going to get opportunities because they're going to leave him open? I mean, as a player, wouldn't you want that? Yeah, you got to prove
Yeah.
yourself, but I don't care. Let me get the rock. I'll shoot. Let's go.
I mean, I think it's both. I think it's yes and no. I mean, in the beginning of the year, he was squabbling how he didn't, how he wanted to come off the bench, how he
That's
loved.
because he was trying. No, in the very beginning, he was a little lost out there. You remember,
Right, and
he didn't know exactly where he fit with them, but then he
Right.
figured it out.
No, but what I'm saying, let me, yeah, exactly. He figured it out. He became a part of starting five, and the numbers that you battled off are great. We got to remember a couple of things. Our two best players don't play defense, right? Josh, not saying that. Let me take that back. I think that's an unfair. That's an unfair statement. I think that Jalen Brunson is 6'1" or whatever, and it's hard for him to do what he needs to do, but he tries his absolute best to play defense.
He's a
When
willing.
it comes to Towns, he's too reachy and goes for the pump fake and all that, and he does his best, but it's different. You're talking about a point guard and a big man who I believe still should be a power forward, and we need a center with him. But when you add Hart to that equation, the only defenders on that team, even though I will say Hart will run back and forth and get in your face and all that, the only true defenders on that starting lineup is OG and Mikal when he can. And I know that I'm not tremendous on Mikal and the whole thing. I'm giving Mikal this year to show me something different because I believe he suffered one thing. It was, where do I fit into this type of, where am I supposed to be? I'm just here for the first time, surrounded by a bunch of all-stars, and I gotta find my lane.
Mm-hmm.
So now this year, to me, Mikal has to prove to me that he is. Yes, you're right, Coach. If anybody else, we picked up anybody and they gave us those numbers, it'd be great. But we didn't just pick up anybody. We were supposed to be getting something that we didn't fully get. This year, I want to see that happen.
I got a question.
I'm almost done. When Hart was coming off the bench in that years that we were talking about, when we should have won the chip that year, but everybody got hurt. Right? Everybody went down to the point where he had to bring Burks in, which I didn't mind because I like Alec Burks. But anyway, the fact is that year you had Dante, you had Hart, you had a bunch of people. All these people coming off the bench, and they made that team excel. They helped the team that we had on the court at that moment. Now that we have a different team, I think that Josh Hart goes back to the bench to bring that same energy. You know, we did see a combo mix together sometimes, or more of that when Quickly was on the team, running together with the captain, because that was what we were talking about. So if you put Josh in the starting unit, then you only have two above average to great or good defenders. After that, it's a running gun. That's it. You know, Brunson's going to give you his absolute best. No, Josh is really not a good defender, and Cat defense sucks.
Right.
And that's true. And that's
But
just
see, the thing is, you also got to think about the coaching situation. Tibbs is a system guy. He's a system maniac.
That's exactly what I'm
saying. When he sees a center,
that's what
in his defense and his scheme, no matter what, his center does this, and this in the defense. No matter who the center is, whether it's Precious, whether it's Cat, or whoever else, Mitch, that that position does these things in my defense.
That's exactly where I was going.
In Tibbs' defenses, the point guard's job is XYZ, no matter who's in the game. Like, so as inept as Brunson and Cat are on defense, according to everybody, they were put in positions that were two very important pieces in a Tibbs style defense that he didn't adjust at all because of his personnel. What a real modern coach does, and a coach that adapts to his roster, they'll look at the shortcomings, lack of a better term, of the point guard, and they'll adjust the defense according to your personnel. That's what you're supposed to do. You make up for what Cat and Brunson lacks defensively, and you run your defense a certain way so they're not exposed. The same thing that on the offensive side that Cat and Brunson bring up to the offense, sometimes we have a Mitch or a Josh in there, or guys that can't shoot at all, and we have guys that can shoot at an all-time level, So those are the things. You do that on offense, but you don't do that on defense. So that's where a different coach coming in brings a fresh, no matter who it is. I don't care the coach's history. Most coaches at most levels that have common sense and aren't pig-headed and stubborn in their ways adapt like that. You're supposed to.
That's exactly where I was going with it. I was going to say, do you think the way that Mikal was coached last year could have been the cause of his he had for me, he had an okay year. He had a pretty decent year. He had some big defensive plays down the stretch too. Could change the way he is. He has come from Brooklyn being a number one to coming over here to being a number 3, 4.
But
like a 3, 4.
And I think coaching does have something to do with it. I think him finding his role under Tibbs was just a little bit more difficult.
Right.
Plus, he's coming from Brooklyn and being in a higher position, being the number one option. Although I will say, I do not think that Mikal is a number one.
No, in any universe.
Yeah. I think he really fits into the number 3 role, but he can be a number 2 at times. I just don't think he's a number 1. I think what we've seen with him when he settles into a certain role, he's going to be great. I think Mikal, and I know we kind of got off subject a little bit, but I think Mikal will be best served as learning a new role, right? It's not different from what he's been doing. He just has to buy into it. And I think if he does buy into it, he'll fit what Mike Brown likes to do. He can fit, because Mikal could fit that Malik Monk type of role for Mike Brown, especially we say Malik Monk is more of a 3-point shooter and slasher and does things, but Mikal to me has to finally realize this is who you are, buy into it, and you will have great success. This dude is a mid-range shooter,
right?
And very good at it. And he has not bought into it yet. That's who I am. There's nothing wrong with that, people. I know the NBA is a 3-point league. There's nothing wrong. Ask Rip Hamilton if he was mad at being a 2-point shooter. There's guys who buy into it are great at it. DeMar DeRozan has had a fantastic career being a 2-point shooter. He's obviously stretched his game out a little bit more to adapt to what the NBA is, but his 2s have been automatic for years. You know what I mean? These guys have learned how to be in that role, and if he can buy into that role for the Knicks, I saw there's something else I want to get to, and I don't want to forget.
You nailed it,
but
man.
I did
that was it right there, bro.
About mid-range shooters, and Deuce made the list, top 10.
Did he freeze or did I freeze?
To you guys for many years since Deuce has been here. I think we all froze for a second. It's on my end. I think we're back. I think we're back.
But we got to look at this too about Mikal. Another one of those things I talked about before. Fan expectations. Okay, wouldn't you say the last 2 years, Mikal Bridges was the focal point of his team, right? When he was on the Nets, he was the number one guy, right?
Right.
That last year on the Suns, he was probably the number 2, number 3 guy,
Right.
On those teams. In those scenarios, he was counted on for more, had the ball more, and he still averaged more assists per game with the Knicks than he has at any other time in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was much; it was 3.7, but as the third or fourth guy in our offense, his averages stayed kind of true to his, and he shot 50% higher from the field. Now, we wish his 3-point percentage was a little better. That took a dip, but suppose he made a change in his shot and all this stuff happened, whatever. And this is the third most he's ever averaged in a season this season as the third or fourth option. So when you look at it, expectations for our team, I mean, for what we need Mikal Bridges to do, I think he met expectations. Like when we brought him in, people are thinking too much on 5 picks for that one guy.
That's what made them think we needed more out of him.
25 points, 9 assists, 10 rebounds.
When you do that and bring in the guy that's supposed to be the best or second best player on your team, yes, you have those. But we did the 5 picks because he had needs that we needed filled, and he's a perfect piece for what our other 2 stars are.
And the wing defense and
those 5 picks help Cat and Bridges. I mean, Cat and Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like that you got to think about that. Like those five picks aren't helping OG, Cat, and Brunson and Mitch and Hart, because 3 or 4 of those picks, those guys are going to be 35 years old by the time those picks come.
And we're going to be 95. Just really quick, all jokes aside, though, I still want more from him, and I think the reason why is not because I'm not even talking about numbers, right? I'm not talking about statistics. I'm talking about what I said, then what Ron just said. Finding who he is on this team, where he belongs on this team. I do not believe he found that last year. I do not believe that he, like, maybe occasionally he did. How about that? Occasionally he looked like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is my position. This is where I'm at. I think that in years past, even though he wasn't a number one and won't be a number one anywhere offensively, defensively, I think that he could step up and really become like that wing stop that they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then add that to the fact that the confidence of stop and pop 10-footers the way he was doing in the middle, which he was incredible at, and take way more of those, that confidence to do so. And hopefully now, and that's why I think also if you take Hart out of the starting unit, right, that gives him more opportunity for that. Right. At least in the first quarter, right? Starting that way. You're also talking about we got a man, doesn't matter 5 picks, whoever it is, I wanted Kessler, but that's different. The truth of the matter is, and he wasn't worth that, but that's a different story. The truth of the matter is that we talking about a man that for the majority of the year led the entire NBA in minutes. Uh-huh. So we got a Iron Man on the team. And that should never be overlooked either.
Right.
So
let's also mention that every guy that we gave up for him pretty much is just getting ready to start college or just in their last year of high school right now. Let's also put into the same perspective that these picks that we had could all been $1 to $5 million. You know what I mean? Hitting our cap, which we don't have the money for. So why not give that money? We only gave up Presione, not Presione, my bad. Excuse me. What I said Presione for? We only gave Bogdan up to get Bridges plus all these picks. Who else we gave up for him? Another guy that we signed and traded over there. Who else we gave? What did we give up for Mikal? We gave up Bogdan and 5 first-round picks. You don't think that's a deal?
Exactly.
Well, who else we gave up? Who's over there in the Brooklyn right now that's starting for the Knicks? I mean, that came from the Knicks that's still on their team.
And those picks are going to be in the late first round. Too.
Yeah, 25, 24.
It ain't like they're going to be lottery picks.
Ain't like they top 10 picks and not like that. Come on. But they still are valuable picks because of the money that those trade things cost. They cost money. They $1 to $5 million, something like. None of them are first round.
Yeah,
my whole thing is I don't think we should even have to do this, guys. I don't think we should even have to defend these picks anymore. Yeah. We've talked about these picks into nauseum. The picks are gone. That's it. We can't get
the they're not coming back.
That's it.
Coming back.
What we gonna do? But the other thing I wanted to say before we move on, because I did want to get to the
might come back and we trade Mitch and
schedule, because we haven't even touched the schedule. Another thing I wanted to say, because and shout out to Wolverines, you are correct. Josh Hart, this is what I will say that you are right about. And shout out to Coach Chef NYK. He said coaches want 3-point shots taken. So yes, he can shoot mid-range effectively, but he has to put up threes. That's the league right now. And I hear you. My whole thing is Mikal should be working inside out instead of outside in. He's got
and on the low, Mikal shooting what 38%, 44 in the corner. What? Come on, we're talking about
corner three was a water.
37 this year. Oh, the corner. I think he shot 30.
Was it like 40? Wasn't it like 40 something from the corner?
But it dropped down this year with the Knicks. All of his shooting numbers dropped down. But yes, he's been very accurate from the corner. So I would say instead of him starting from the outside in the way Tibbs was using him, just move him around so he can start inside out. He can definitely shoot the threes, but I'm saying he needs to be more of a DeRozan type where there's more twos in his game. Because I'd rather have made twos than missed threes. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Everybody don't have to shoot. You have to be able to shoot the three. You just don't have to jack up the three all the time. We need guys who can not. The reason why we struggled when it comes to playing against these good teams, playing against, even with the Nets. I love to use the Nets as an example. We used to play the Nets. We was handling the Nets for 3 quarters, most of the fourth quarter. By the time it got to crunch time and Kyrie and KD started knocking down shots from everywhere, because you can't stop the mid-range. Nobody can block KD's shot, 6'10", shooting over everybody. Those are the shots that win games. So that's all I'm trying to say. Like, we need somebody, when you're good at something, knock it down. I brought up Deuce. Deuce finished in the top 10, or should I say he is ranked top 10 in mid-range shooters. Not because you know him for his mid-range shots, but if you look at Deuce's numbers, when he shoots the mid-range, he knocks it down. He may not have a big percentage of them, but he knocks them down. That's why he got ranked in that. And I think it was interesting because we were talking about Mikal's mid-range shot all year. It looked money. Sometimes it's a fall away, like, whatever, but it looked money. Yeah, he didn't finish in the top 10. Deuce did. So that was kind of eye-opening to me. That tells me Mikal needs to shoot more of them because he's good at it. So anyway,
but the thing is, for like when we want to talk about open Bridges and OG or Wingstop and better on defense, even better this year. That's what's great about when we brought in Clarkson and Yabusele. Because now we have – because what happened was when Cat and Brunson weren't on the floor or we weren't going through them for offense, who were we counting on for offense? Mikal and OG, right? So now – and I don't care who you are in the NBA, you can count on one hand, probably 3 fingers, people that are elite defenders who can also score at a high clip in the NBA. those human beings don't exist. Usually their names are like Giannis and Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anybody else after that. That's considered a 25 plus scorer and an elite defender in the league,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So not to say
Oh,
McHale
well,
and
actually, you know what? I can think of one more. I like to throw him. I feel like he gets overlooked. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is
Yeah.
a special defender. He finishes
Yeah,
in
he's a
top
good
of
defender.
his position, and he drops the points.
Yeah.
But forget, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And probably AD as well. You know, Anthony Davis maybe fits in that realm. But you have to sit there and think about it a little bit. So the kind of scoring we were needing from OG and McHale at times last year when teams coached up and were making it harder on Cat and Brunson, like they should, because they're elite threats, that affects their defense. It just does. So when you have people like Clarkson and Yabusele who come onto the team, who they can get buckets at their, that's going to help people like McHale and OG and give them a spell for the offensive load so they can do the special things that they do on defense and give it that energy, to where they're not getting beat, once in a while because they're having to do so much on offense too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
Right.
another place where I think
I don't
McHale,
disagree with you, brother, at all. Especially when you're trying to help out your center, and you got to guard your man, and try to shift back and forth to help the middle, and then go right to the perimeter, then right back to the middle, then right back to the perimeter, and every second. Of course, that's going to affect the way you play your defense. I still think that it really. And I'm gonna leave it there. I agree with you, and I always say this, and Ron knows this. Like the two things could be right at the same time. The fact is that we could be happy with his performance. Three things: happy with his performance, if you like. Expect him to do a little bit more, and because of the fact that he had to do the back and forth shuffle, hurt him in that way, and also was trying to find who he was as the New York Knicks. And I think all those are true. They're all true.
right.
So, I mean,
And the thing is, for me, it's not that I want or don't want Mitch to start, or I don't think he's good enough to start. I think that we can't just for the fact of to help Mitch, who's going to be going into a season healthy. We got to temper the excitement and the want and need to be like, oh yeah, he's going to be able to play 30 minutes a game. Let's keep Mitch at a respectable amount of minutes so Mitch can succeed. So I don't mind. I personally, if I was doing the starting lineup, just because I'm thinking about when the second unit's in the game, how much defense they would need. I wouldn't mind starting Yabusele and being a true 5-out offense to put pressure on the other team at the beginning of the game when everyone's legs are at their freshest, just coming off of the shoot around. Guys are dialed in with their shot. We come out blazing in them first quarters with that 5-out pressure. And then we bring in Mitch. We bring in a couple of guys that can defend. And then you can have enough scoring with Clarkson coming off the bench to just maintain. And we can. I think if Mitch starts, that's another post person. I think I would rather have him spell Cat. I don't mind him playing together a little bit, but I'd rather him, play 20. I'd rather Mitch play 20 to 25 minutes a game, no more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't think he deserves it. I just want Him to be healthy.
I think we agree with you, Coach. We were talking about that. I think that's a good barometer for Mitch. I also think that's the same type of barometer you should use for Josh Hart. 25 to 30 minutes, I think is fine. You only have to push the envelope when it's a need. I think you keeping guys to 25 minutes, especially guys that you don't really think are the focal point of your offense or what you got going on, is smart because it allows them to be Mitch and Josh Hart. Whether or not you believe in Josh Hart's defense or not, Mitch and Josh Hart are the two energy guys of this team on the defensive side and just in general. So having those guys as fresh as possible makes a big difference for the team and how the team moves. And I don't mind. Look, I've said it. I would like to see Deuce in the starting lineup because I think that for all the knocks that people say about Josh Hart and his defense, I think Deuce makes up for that. I think Deuce is a better defender than Josh. And I think if you put him in the starting lineup, even though he's undersized, I mean, he's 6'2". Josh is 6'4". We're talking 2 inches here, folks. Deuce's arms are longer than Josh's. He has a 6'9" wingspan. To me, it's the same difference when you look at what the both of them are doing out there in the court, because when it comes down to the defense, they equal each other in size with arms and all that stuff. So the bottom line is, if you're going to try that, fine. If Mitch is the starter, which he might be, I'm okay with that too, because as long as his minutes are limited to more of starting, right? And then the second unit comes in and you get the spark. You get the Jordan Clarkson coming and Josh Hart coming off the bench and they're running. You know what I mean? And whatever they got going on, Yabusele can run too. He can get up and down the court. The second unit can be a run and gun type of team who also has the ability to score. You know, Clarkson can shoot it. You know, Yabusele can shoot it. And whoever else they choose to round out that bench unit, we got some things that we can do. It's a nice little change of pace, which will help push the pace for Mike Brown and his style of offense. But the other thing I wanted to say real quick, because I do want to get to Mitch now, is because this is important. We talked about Josh Hart in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I just want to read something real quick to you guys. I don't have OG up here because OG basically stood on business the way he normally is. OG averaged 1.3 turnovers a game versus Indiana. He averaged around 1.3 turnovers a game. Let's see the difference here. Josh Hart, we talk about his bad decision making. And yes, he had bad decisions. They looked terrible versus Indiana. But, you know, he averaged 2.2 turnovers per game. For the season, Josh Hart averages 2.1. So this is Josh. It's not like Josh ain't going to turn over the ball. Josh turns over the ball. It's just that the decision making and the turnovers were magnified against Indiana and what they were doing against the Knicks. It's not like what he did was any different than what you expect. Mikal Bridges averaged 1.6 turnovers this past season. Versus Indiana, he averaged 2.5. You get it? Indiana did something to the Knicks and put them in terrible positions and forced them to turn the ball over. It made terrible decision making, right? Cat averaged 2.7 turnovers this year for the Knicks. Versus Indiana, he averaged 2.7 turnovers. So he just basically did what he's been doing. But you compile that, 2.7 from him, 2.2 from Josh. What did I say? Mikal did 2.5 from Mikal. And then Jalen Brunson averaged 2.5 turnovers in the regular season. Versus Indiana, he averaged 4 turnovers a game.
Mm-hmm.
This is a concerted effort to put all of the Knicks in a bad position. It wasn't just Josh Hart. Josh Hart just did what Josh Hart does. It just looked worse, compiled with everybody else. We look terrible versus Indiana once again. Okay, let's move on. Let's show these little highlight clips.
And that's because we also didn't have a bench, and that's okay. Anyway,
yeah, no, that's fair. Although against Indiana, it was the first time we actually started to play these guys. We started to play DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet more.
Tibbs was forced to. It was a
He
different
was
situation.
forced to. That's correct. 100%. Let me share this with you guys real quick. Share. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Yo. 20 photos, 1,000 hours when we're together.
Get out of here. Copyright. Ooh. Okay, Mitch. See, this is what Mitch should be doing, and it should have been doing the past 3, 4, 5 years, working on stuff, working on something to get. This is where you live, Mitch. You don't live on the 3-point line. That's why we'll never see you shoot it. And work on these. Yep, work on these. I heard he's changed his form a little bit too. By the way, that is, you can believe what you want to believe.
He's sweating in training camp. When the last time you seen Mitch? Every time you see Mitch Robinson, he with his homeboys from around his way. He got his around the way jersey on with his high shorts on, country music in the background. Ain't no sweat coming off him. Look at him now. He's drenched. He is drenched. He's shiny right now. Look at him. He's shiny. That means he's working. Man, I got to come on screen for this one.
Yeah.
If we get any form of Mitchell Robinson like this, back to the basket, Mitchell Robinson like this. All right, I'm going back to.
And also, why are we not pick and roll with Mitch on more? Like,
the problem with pick and roll,
Tom Thibodeau style of basketball, man.
Yep.
Mitch wasn't a focal point of scoring.
Problem with a pick and roll is both players usually have to be able to shoot from some point, like a mid range, right? If you could do a low pick and roll where he's close to the paint and he can shoot this floater, then yeah, you can work it. But the thing about the Knicks, you guys notice that the Knicks start their pick and roll very high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's no good for Mitch, because if you stop it, you say, "Hey, I'm gonna stand right in front. Get around me, Mitch." that's when you run into a problem. He can't just pull up and shoot it. I don't know why they didn't run the pick and roll a little bit more with Cat and Jalen Brunson. It seems like a perfect duo, but
They did, and then they stopped. I don't know. That's Tom Thibodeau for you. Remember the beginning of the year? We was talking about, this is going to be the best two players in the pick and roll, the pick and pop. And then it just went to OG and Mikal. And then they
were the best for a while until they stopped doing it. Yeah, they stopped doing it for some reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see a lot of it. Honestly, I don't expect to see a lot of it under Mike Brown either, just because pick and roll stuff slows down the offense. And if he has this whole thing about when you get the ball, you've got 0.5 seconds to get into the paint, he doesn't want to be running a bunch of slow moving pick and rolls. He wants to have a lot more motion offense. So I expect him to do a lot, a little bit less of pick and roll stuff as well. But it doesn't matter. The point is, as long as we are effective as an offensive squad and doing what we need to do to make it difficult for the defense, I don't care what we running. So as long as it does that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and look, my thing with Mitch, it's never been that right there, and anything he does on the court besides missing free throws, I have no issue at all with Mitchell Robinson as a player and him being on the Knicks. My issue with him is just the availability and the injury bug. That's it. And at a certain point, you got to look at it as a business, and you're running a business and all this stuff. This is Mitch's year. There's a reason. If they 100% believed in Mitch being healthy, he would also have been extended. Because we're already pushed up against the apron a certain amount. You're allowed to go over it for your own players. If they believed in Mitch staying healthy, they wouldn't let him play his last season of his contract. So let's keep it a buck. All right, I'm not the only one doubting if Mitch can stay healthy a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wishing it on him. I want him to play 70, 80 games. I want him to be healthy. We need him. We're a lot better team with him. But for $15 to $20 million, I personally will pass because if he could play this whole season, then there's some magic potion in this new Knicks training staff everyone's been talking about. Then let's do it. But this is just like it's a show me what you can do this season situation for all the players. It's the same thing for Mitch. They're waiting for Mitch to show them he can stay healthy a whole season and be counted on.
Yeah, not just him. Not just him.
Doing. Yeah,
Cat too.
Not him. He ain't a clown. He's telling the truth. The best ability is availability. All right, and he hasn't been available. What about that is clowning?
There's nothing wrong.
Oh, there's Nick Nat goes around everywhere I go, and he trolls me, bro. It's just what he does.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong with.
I actually have him blocked on YouTube. I see him talking.
There's nothing wrong.
Look, I'm not trying to start an argue. Look,
yeah.
Nick, I like Coach. What I'm saying to everybody is the fact of the matter is he when healthy, he obviously is a big changer for us on defense, on rebounding, on everything. Staying right in the middle, like Shaw says. Now you can no longer go north-south. You have to go east-west. You cannot go straight forward into him. But he's got to be not only there, but healthy for it. And this year being the incentive year, being the big year, he stays healthy. We should probably see the best Mitch we've ever seen. You know, if that, I watched a couple of people's thing. I think Wolverine said it was AI you were showing us. The fact is that I've been following him too. I know Shop follows him too. You know, before it was look at my new truck, look at my new what was that trailer he got for the back of the truck. Look at this.
Oh
look at
yeah.
That. Now it's all gym stuff, all work stuff.
Basketball workouts, deep dives, getting leaner, getting stronger. Right. This is one. Listen, I'm always been a Mitch Holmes. I thought that when he's on the court, he is one of the best guys in the NBA for offensive rebounding. One of the best. The last couple of years, I believe, in my opinion, I believe that they brought him back a little earlier than they should have. And I mean, because they needed him and stuff like that. And I think and as long as he has been here as a New York Knick, I believe he's always come back too early. This year, we expected Mitchell Robinson to be back by January, maybe by the trade deadline. They kept Mitchell Robinson all the way out to March this year. This training staff that they have now is something different than I've seen from a Knick training staff in a long time. Not just dealing directly with NYU, but dealing with internal things of no, you're not ready yet. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep working you back. We're gonna start slow. We're gonna build you back. And this is why I'm hoping. And plus, this is a kind of like a contract year. Last time Mitch played this well was his last contract year. I think he played 72 games, 73, 70 something games he played in his last contract year. So and he was one of his best years that he had. I think it was probably around 9-10, 9-9 or something like that. So let's hope that we get that from Mitchell Robinson, because what he does is, like I always say, that North and South thing is for real. When Mitchell Robinson there, he don't get a lot of block shots. You want to know why? Because a lot of people don't contest him. They don't go down there and thinking that Mitchell, because when you do, then you might just get blocked or you get, maneuvered around. But one of the biggest things for Mitchell Robinson in his whole career is being healthy. The best availability is availability.
Listen, period, man.
That's the truth.
Go ahead, Ron, go.
I was going to say that's the truth. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with what was said in regards to the Knicks have made this decision. This ain't the first time. They've done it with other guys. They did it with Quickly. They wanted to do it with RJ, but they put themselves in a bad position, and then they had to save face. Right? Quickly, they said, let's you play out your contract. We'll decide if we're going to give you the money. They were going to do the same thing with Obi. They were going to do it with RJ too. But then when they put the face of the Knicks, who is what RJ Barrett was at that time, when they put the face of the Knicks in that Donovan Mitchell trade, they had to save face because the media started reporting on it, making it look a certain way, and the Knicks didn't want the narrative to start. So they told that's when they said, we got to extend them now, and they told Utah and Danny Ainge, listen, are we going to make this trade or not? Because if we don't do it by this Monday, I remember it like it was yesterday. On this Monday, we're going to extend RJ. And then they extended RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett walked into practice wearing all black with a smile on his face. Yeah, I remember the whole thing like it was yesterday. So it is what it is. That some players, you have to make them work for it. I don't care if you like them. I don't care if they've done great things for you. When it comes to money, and the Knicks are spending a lot of money. When it comes to money and second contracts, first contract is that rookie contract. A little bit of money, it is what it is. That second contract, a little bit more money, starts to get
bag money.
This is your third contract. Third contract is big money. So by that time, you use somebody. The Knicks have to make a decision. Let Mitch play it out and see what it is before giving him that money. Can he stay healthy? We already know. Now there's no excuses. We got one of the best training staffs in the NBA. If you can't stay healthy here, you ain't going to stay healthy anywhere. All right.
And let's face it, guys. Every team that's a contender in this league is backs against the apron, bro. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, we're spending so much money. We're spending the same amount of team money as every team in the NBA, besides the ones that are tanking.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's it. There's teams that have less room than we do that barely make the playoffs. Like look at teams like Phoenix and all these teams that everyone with this new CBA, everyone's pressed up against the apron, bro. Every team is like this. So
I'm always out like my mind is always blown when I see a team that seems so super deep, or right? Like I'm like, how the hell did they do that? And we ended up with this bench that we had to look all the way down to Walt Frazier to pick somebody. Like how did they do that? Like the Oklahoma City and all this other stuff. But what I didn't realize at that point was people weren't signed yet. They didn't have to get up to that point yet. And I definitely believe that. And as far as Mitch and the extension, I think at this point right now, it's show me, don't tell me, and then we'll work on it. And that's it.
If he's healthy by the time January comes, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
they're being smart. They how bad would it look for the Knicks and Leon Rose if they extended him? And it's like I said, it's no knock on Mitch. It's not that I don't want Mitch.
It's business, baby.
It's business, bro.
It is what it is.
If you have a guy, if you know every time X, Y, Z happens, this negative thing happens, you can't keep doing it. It's the definition of insanity. If they go, they pay Mitch $18 to $22 million a year to extend him, right? Game 12, he hurt.
And he's hurt the next day.
And he's out the rest of the season. And now the Knicks are stuck with his contract. Like now we can't get anybody else. We can't trade him either. So it's smart business. You wait till the extension. And he stays healthy. Go ahead. Give Mitch 18 million, 20 million, whatever. I'll live with it.
They'll figure it out. And I believe that way so much so because you've seen it. You see that this front office has been ready to make deals and ready to let you go if you ain't willing to do what they want to do, i.e. Julius Randle. Julius Randle wanted $60 million. They sent Julius Randle out with his contract and with DiVincenzo, and we got a $50 million player. You know what I mean? We saved $10 million. You know, so that's how they do it. And Julius Randle didn't get $60 million this year. Did he get $60 million this year? Did he get $60 million? No, he did not get $60 million.
I don't know what his deal is. I know
he did lose my favorite pop and shop shooter, but
yeah, I think the contract was 30-something million, 40-something million.
31 million a year.
Something like that, 30-something million. See what I'm saying? He wanted 61, they got him for 31. He wanted New York.
Who was
that? He re-signed with Timberwolves, right? He got 30-something million. He wanted 60 million over here. We traded him away. We got Cat for $50 million, and we still under the contract. We still this front office for me
Okay.
in my lifetime.
So okay.
This is one of the best front offices I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
And-
pushing the limit, especially under this new apron thing that they got out
Right,
now.
especially with the
Pushing the
apron.
limit, changing $1 in contract years where you couldn't do it to manipulate the cap. This is the only team that I heard do it. $1, 3 other players to make it over the cap to make this trades. This front office has been doing the dang business right now. So I am happy to see what the front office do, and I think that this team that they put together with these coaches that they about to put together, that they're going to have a good year this year. I think this is the year. I think this is the year. I think
and that's what's amazing.
One more smart choice, and I think we right there. Whoever we pick up for this veterans contract, because I believe we already have our 10-man, but I do think that we do need help in the second unit because we really don't have a backup point guard. And I mean, and if you do get Ben Simmons or Malcolm Brogdon, I like Landry Shaman, but I don't think we need Landry Shaman because he's not a point guard. You know what I mean? We already got Deuce McBride that could do that.
We got a bunch of Landry Shamans
right
now.
We got a bunch of them right now. We don't need in my opinion, I think we need someone that can control the ball, a Brogdon, a Simmons, you know what I mean, in that second unit. You know what I mean? And then we can make a evaluation who we want to put in the first unit. We want to start Deuce or we want to start Simmons.
You want to
start Yabusele. Whatever.
Right. You also got to give flowers to Brunson for taking that short contract.
Yep.
You know, the less money because that's what champions want to do. Oh, you want to? Oh, we need to get these guys. I'll tell you what. That's called betting on yourself. Also, being a championship type player, you know, everything about him says that. Taking that contract. And everything you said, Shah, I really believe that this is the best front office I've seen, at least in a very long time.
Ever. This is the best one I've seen ever. I mean, I think what was the guy? Damn, I can't remember the guy. Chubby fat guy that used to wear the glasses. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I can't think of his name right now. He was pretty good, but they fired him quick. I think they fired him real quick. He wanted to do something, and they said no, fired him. You know what I mean? We had the last guy that I seen that could work the books like this was Phil, right? And they let Phil go too. Phil wanted too much. He wanted too much.
It was triangle.
Yeah, he wanted everything. He wanted. I mean, not Phil. Phil did not Phil. I'm sorry. Who the one that went to Miami? Oh my gosh, my mind is skipping me today. Pat Riley. Pat Riley. You know what I mean? Pat Riley wanted too much. That was the last guy that was finagling around here. I mean, we did have some times with the two black guys. They was doing pretty good not too long ago. But you know what I mean? But the way they laying it down right now and setting it out and getting big. When the last time who would have thought in this many years that we would have a all-star point guard, an all-star center, a close wing guy that could be named in a defensive player with another guy that could be named as a defensive player. And I mean, these big name guys, Brunson and OG, these guys are big in the league, man. And when the last time we had significant players that are all at the same age that can really grow together, man? We haven't had, I mean,
Spreewell and LJ and Houston
right, back in
and then even them,
you know what I mean?
They weren't deep enough still. They weren't deep enough, and they didn't have the, you know, our big man was everything was happening at that time.
I mean, hey, listen, Wolverines, you're right. These guys weren't the greatest, but they did help. The war chest, the assets started with Steve Mills and Scott Perry. Okay.
Yeah, you can't discredit them.
They started the assets. So them picks.
I hate. I mean, I can't say I hate when a lot of people talk about Dolan too, because Dolan. I mean, I'm talking outside the picture. Dolan
Isaiah was the worst.
I mean, Dolan wasn't scared to get these you know, these coaches, you know, that we just mentioned. I just say like.
Yeah. All right. Let me get
And he
out of
also
here.
backed
soon.
out of the picture like he did with the Rangers.
Right.
He said, "All right, no more involvement. I'm out."
Hey,
Let
what
me
happened
get
to the
out
schedule?
of here soon because I mean I do want to see my Mets are going to play around 4
Oh,
o'clock.
yeah, 4 o'clock.
We're going to see
Yeah,
young
lose again.
Nolan McLean pitching. So I need
Oh,
to
yeah,
see
I
how he
can't
looks.
wait. Ooh.
But let's get to the
Thank you.
schedule.
Yes, y'all gonna record that and watch it on the replay. The game.
Yeah. No,
Y'all know
listen.
it's right. No, my bad.
Nah, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. The Mets are just well, I'm all
He's
right.
going to throw a no-hitter today, McLean. Anyway,
Yeah,
go ahead.
listen, maybe they bring Anthony Young out to be the pitching coach so he can tell them how to. Okay, whatever. I'm done.
Anyway.
All right. So here is the schedule, and you can hardly see this. So what I am going to do is I have this, and I wonder if this looks okay for you guys. It's not as sexy here. Let me see here.
I really can't see it.
I know it's very, very
You know
small.
what's a good one? That one that's shaped like a calendar. That one's really good.
I like this. Actually, I think this is not too bad if it comes up. Hold on. Let me get this out of here. Yeah, I can blow it up. Hold on.
You know what? You may have to enlarge portions of it.
Yeah, and then scroll up and down.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
So this is what this is. Yeah, here we go. This is the sporting news. They did their own.
Oh, that's not that bad. That's,
I think this is okay.
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah,
I like this. We find the way, people. We find the way.
That's it, man. Positivity, man. Always king.
There we go. All right, it is what it is. All right, so
Opening day.
So this is. It starts with what is this here? How does this look? Is this? Wait a minute. Let me see something here. So 10-22 is Cleveland, right? This is the regular season. Oh, this doesn't include the preseason. That's why I'm tripping. I'm like, where's the preseason games and the Abu Dhabi games? We don't got them here. Okay. All right. So no Abu Dhabi games here. You know, the Knicks start off the preseason with 2 games in Abu Dhabi, which that's going to be crazy and wild for them. That should be interesting.
Against Philly, right?
Yeah. So that should be pretty interesting. Oh, also real quick, shout out to Sangfroid in the building, a la Wise in the building, and my 2 cents. I see y'all. Salute. Please, if you guys haven't already, smash that like button, show your love for the show and the content. Definitely appreciate you. You don't know what it looks like. It looks a little something like this. Thank you guys as always for showing the love. And continue to subscribe if you're not subscribed. So first off, we got the Celtics, and then the Pacers, and then the Cavaliers, right? So to start off the season, you know what I mean? Like, this is not necessarily we obviously know that guys are out for the season for the Celtics and the Pacers, but this is not like a cookie cutter start. You know what I mean? Like Celtics, Pacers, Cavaliers is not like cookie cutter. Then you got the Heat and the Pistons. Granted, because of everything that's going on, we know that the Knicks are in a good position to win these games. The Cavaliers, we don't know what the Cavaliers is going to be this year. We assume they're going to be similar to what they were last year, but that was a 66-win team. I
think there's a mistake with that schedule.
You think so?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Cavaliers on opening night.
Wait a minute here.
That's last year's schedule, right?
Oh, that's
24, 25.
25, 20. Oh, that's why. Oops. That's what's wrong.
I was about to say, I'm like,
right?
I thought we had the Cavs.
Hold on. Let's get this right, y'all. Let's get this fixed. Stop sharing this. I knew something was off. Like, I'm like, why does this look like this? This is weird. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't want to relive that opening game.
Yeah, I'm like, this looks odd. All right, hold on. Knicks schedule, because we need something that looks a little better than that other thing. every year I say I'm going to do this, but this takes a lot of work. I was like, let me put together my own thing, but I'm like, I don't know.
I'm just a huge fan of that calendar looking one. I don't know why I've always liked it.
I'm going to go with the ESPN one because when all else fails.
I hate to give them credit for anything, but
when all else fails, let's see.
The NBA.com one's pretty good too. But
all right, let's share this one. What the heck was that? That was weird. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's blow this up a little.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, here we go. All right, now that looks more that's more like it. That's what I'm used to. Okay, Cleveland, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, Chicago. Oh yeah, this is a lot more cookie cutter. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Cleveland, that's
on the road.
That's going to be a little bit of something. We don't know, to start the season, nobody's really playing 100% the way you expect them to play. So that game could go either way. But then you got Boston, they're going to be dealing with some stuff. Miami is not the same Miami they used to be. Milwaukee is going to be interesting little game there. Then you got Chicago twice, Washington, then Minnesota early, which I know that even though teams are starting to figure themselves out, Minnesota's probably going to, well, at least Dante and Julius will probably be up for that game. So that should be an interesting game. And then you got Brooklyn. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. And then Memphis. I'm sorry. Memphis is 10.
That's 7 straight road games there.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I like that.
Oh, wait, and then Orlando.
Yeah, get them road games out of the way early. I don't mind.
Wow.
But that's a lot. 7 in a row. That's a big road trip.
Mm-hmm. So looking at that, are you confident in the first 10?
I mean, to me, 8-2. If we're the team we're supposed to be this year, that should be a 7 or 8 win. And that's just me trying to be realistic.
Being nice about it, because
obviously I want to be 10. I want to win all 10 of them games.
That's right.
That's winnable.
Right.
I mean, we should win all 10 of them games.
Yeah, we should.
You don't go undefeated in the NBA.
I mean, and actually, Coach, that's the reverse. It's 7 straight home games, not road games.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the accent.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good home stretch. Hey, we should come out of these gates looking pretty nice. I don't know why I looked at that wrong way. Yeah, you're right. Then we got a road trip after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think the team is gelling, right? The team needs to gel. Those first 10 games are a great kind of like barometer of what they're going to be at. Maybe the first 25 games are really that, but the first 10, you get to see what they've been doing, what the summer has brought us, and I'm gonna go. I want to go 10-0, but I'm gonna go 7-3. But I really think it's 8-2.
Cleveland, Minnesota are the only 2 letdown games I think can happen.
Right,
and the other one
then
we should win.
You never know. You never know. You never know. You could have a bad game out of all them. The truth is, I think we all want to go 10-0, but realistically, I think that 8-2 number is right. But I'm going 7-3, and the reason why I'm going 7-3 is because you have a couple of teams in there that have played together for a while, that have been together for a while, and are tough. The other than besides that, I don't think that the rest of them are even close to who we are.
Right. Yeah.
9-1, and we lose one of the Chicago games. That's how I'm going.
See, that's a funny thing, Shop. One of those Chicago games was the one I was thinking about.
Yeah.
9-1.
That's why I
That's what I'm
made it
thinking.
that.
I think we come out. I think we come out this year smoking hot. This ain't Tom Thibodeau old school. We gotta maybe the first 20 games to see if we could go. Nah, I think we get right off to the gusto. I think by the time they get hit training camp, these guys are gonna be ready to win. I think they're gonna be Cleveland. I think they especially gonna be Cleveland. Boston is not the team that's gonna be still gonna be a good team, but they lost a lot of players. I think we whip on them. Like you said, Miami, no team to be looked at. Giannis, we're gonna beat him just because Giannis didn't come over to New York. Just because you didn't come over to New York, we're gonna whip on you. We're gonna whip on your old
By
team,
40.
whip on
By
you.
40.
And, right, exactly. Then Chicago, I think we win the one on Halloween and lose the one in November. Washington, I think we beat up on, and Minnesota's the only other one. Maybe that's the 10th game, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Memphis is the 10th game. I think we beat up on little brother Brooklyn and Memphis. Let's see what happens when we go up against Memphis. Yeah. But I think 9-1, and the only reason why I say the Chicago game because we played them twice.
Right. Like in my eyes, and this is all season for me. If we go 7-3 in every 10-game stretch of the season, we're a 57-win team.
Yes.
And to me,
I'm going 58 this year anyway, so I agree with you.
And to me, we're that good because that's a 70% win percentage. When you're the top 2 seeds in either conference, you're supposed to be that good. So for us to, I think we're being conservative. I think we're good enough to be 65 win team.
See, that's so funny you said that. I really want to say that, but you know the truth is,
I'm trying to be melatonin
just
too.
Like,
I think we're better than what they're saying. They're saying what is it, 53 wins this year, 53.4, 54.3 or something like that. I think we do.
53 and a half, 53 and a half ish.
Something like that, right? So I think we do better than that this year.
And that's me just. I'm making a conscious effort, not trying to be a homer. You know what I'm saying? Too bad. I'm trying to be an unbiased journalist a little bit. Yeah.
Right. But with this roster, we should be look, I'm gonna say this. You saw what Cleveland did last year? I think with this roster, there's no reason why we can't get that record. What they did last year.
I agree.
No reason.
Okay. I mean, I like the optimism. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. And I'm not going to break down the whole schedule. You know, there's plenty of shows that already did it, and you know, I appreciate what they've done. So there's no need for me to do it. But I will say that I still think the Knicks are going to win 55 or more games, but I'm at the 55 point. If they can win 60, great. But I'm still a little concerned when we get here. Right here. This is when I start to get a little concerned. I know the Knicks are going to be good. I expect them to be good. But when you get here, things are going to get interesting.
Look at all those ESPN and ABC games, man. It's great.
You're talking about Lakers, Nuggets, Detroit, Boston. By this point, by February 8th, will be a decent team. Will they be the Boston they were last year? Probably not. But they may find a way to rekindle some of their identity by February 8th. They may have found a way to learn how to win without Tatum by this point and understand how to play decent basketball. So I would still favor the Knicks to win, but you know, Boston can make it interesting. We've lost to teams with nobody. Okay, so let's not assume that. Yeah. Luke or whatever. I mean, whatever his name is,
and he got the bag for that game.
And you notice that? He did get the bag.
Mamu.
Yeah. So then, you know, Indiana's in this mix. Whatever they're going to be, they're in here twice. Philadelphia is here. I'm going to tell you, people are sleeping on Philadelphia because a healthy Philadelphia has got a lot of bucket getters over there, a lot of talent. I'm not saying that I think that the Knicks are not better than them. I'm just telling you, you can't downplay a healthy Philadelphia because they got some bucket getters over there. Then you got Detroit, Houston. I'm one of those that I agree with what you guys are saying about Chicago. I mean, we can probably lose one of those back-to-backs or even beat them both. But by the time we play Chicago on February 22nd, Chicago should be a better team. And a lot of people think Chicago is a sleeper this year because they got some guys that they think can be really good. We'll see. Then
and also some injured guys that are coming back too.
True. Then you got Cleveland again, Milwaukee, whatever. That could be a loss. It could be a win. I don't know. San Antonio is a problem. San Antonio has always been a problem, and I think they're going to have a good squad this year. Toronto, not worried about. But then you got OKC, you got Denver again, you got the Lakers again, you got the Clippers, Utah, no big deal. You got Indiana again. All right, hold on, there's more. You got Golden State, Indiana again, right? And then that kind of gets out of the craziness to me. Then we get back to kind of regular degular. Memphis, Brooklyn, Washington, New Orleans, Charlotte, OKC again, Houston again, Chicago, Atlanta, Boston, Toronto, Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I definitely see a 50-win season here, 50-something. Could they win 60? Yes. But if they're going to win 60, they got to do damage right in here. This is going to be important. The damage got to be done in here. You got to come out of here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Like Indiana, they don't have Halliburton and Miles Turner's gone.
Right.
They're in a weird situation. I think Detroit is smoke and mirrors. I don't care what. Cade Cunningham is an up and coming star. I'll give him that. I know Jaden Ivey's coming back, but I think a lot of people are downplaying, including Detroit. They believe in Bickerstaff too much and their young talent too much. Well, they lost Schroeder, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Alec Burks. Them three dudes. Look at their stats.
And this dude, the gambler.
Oh yeah, and Malik Beasley.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That whole team. That's why I meant include. I meant Malik Beasley.
By the way, that's the guy I wanted to pick up with
right.
the
like those three vets.
No, Schroeder.
They besides Cade Cunningham, those are the only three dudes that can score on that team. I don't know what game everyone else was watching, not you guys. But I'm not as big on Detroit as everyone else is. They're built too old school for me. Like they ain't gonna. Now they're gonna be a nice little team, whatever. But I think they gave us a hard time because of our own ineptitude. That was the worst offensive series we ever had. And that's not because of Detroit's defense. We were just missing shot. We were horrible. I mean, I'm just being real, But
I think they were also very tired, and the other team was playing very tough and a little bit dirty. So.
Yeah, I mean, Beef Stew, he wasn't there, but come on. Beef Stew's a nice little player, and he's a tough guy, and everyone's all high on him with, he defends a little better than his height suggests and all that. But come on, man. Jaden Ivey, they need more than Jaden Ivey and Beef Stew. I mean,
well, they did add Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I'd rather have Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, and Tim Hardaway Jr. than those two. I'm just being honest.
I can agree with that.
They all have playoff experience. They're for what the Knicks are doing. I wouldn't have minded one of those three. We just couldn't afford them. And Malik Beasley got in trouble. But
all right,
so Jaden Ivey's definitely going to help them.
Oh no, he is. He was averaging 18 points.
Yeah, no, I'm not discrediting that at all. But you're talking a big drop off after Cade and Jaden Ivey as far as offense.
Let me ask you this though. That's fair. In these 17 games that are on the screen, how many of these do you think the Knicks can win?
14.
Yeah, I see one of those. I think
12.
for
14.
some reason we got Jokic's number for some reason.
Yep.
We always whoop their behind lately. The last couple seasons, we've given Denver all they can handle. We'll probably split that one realistically. For some reason, San Antonio always, and by the time March 1st comes around, that team's gonna be dangerous. They got some talent on that team. I think a lot of people I don't think people are sleeping on them in the West, but they're going to be that explosive elite team, I think, this year. San Antonio. But obviously, Houston, by then, we're going to see if that KD thing by this time, they're either going to be in shambles and mad that they made the trade, or they're going to be rolling,
I'm going to take it back. 12. That's what I see.
Yeah. But besides those games, and OKC, obviously, I'm not worried about the Lakers. Any of the Eastern Conference teams like Detroit, if they're playing pretty good, maybe we can split those. But I see us winning at least 70 to 75% of those games.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 12.
I just make it easy, man. I got the Knicks winning 59 games this year. First 10 games, I got them 9 out of the 10. The next 10 games, I got them 8 out of the 10. The next 10 is where I had them probably one of the lowest out of the next 10, 6 out of the next 10. Then at the 40 game mark, I got them winning 7 of those 10 games. The 50 game mark, I got them winning 7 out of those 10 games. Another stretch where we're on the West Coast in the 10 games, I got them winning 6. Going into 70, I got them winning 7. And the last 12 games, I got them winning 9. And the calculation is about 59 wins at the end of the year. That's what I got for next year.
Yeah. That's even good. Like I said, between 58 and 62 is about where I'm at, but I don't want to make that full prediction until like right before the season starts. And but I think 58, which was what I think I had last year. But between that and the way you just broke it down, Shad, there's no reason why we can't get one more out of that to hit 60. You know what I mean? In some sort of way. So
if the team stays majority healthy this year, something similar to what they did, like if the starting unit stays healthy like they did last year, aside from Brunson little, couple of games that he missed and stuff like that, the team stays healthy as they did last year. Even if we get a 65 game year out of Jalen Brunson, you know what I mean? I still think we're up there in the over 55, and I think the high. Well, I think the star for me. I think some of these teams that underestimated us last year, I don't think we're going to get off to the slow start like we did. I'm not slow start. I don't think we're going to get out to a slow start this year, and I think a lot of the teams that we played last year are going to reap what they sowed last year. A lot of these teams, I think we're going to beat a lot of teams this year that gave us problems last year because of the different way the scheming of the staff is and how the players are going to play for the coach. This guy's a more up-tempo type coach, and you got a defensive and an offensive guy that can help you out on either spectrum. And if I'm not mistaken, was it Jet that used to play with used to coach McHale in the shooting, which wasn't it one of these guys?
It was Few, the dude from Sacramento.
All right, so that's gonna help us out tremendously this year. I couldn't remember the name, but that's gonna help us out tremendously because that's gonna bring McHale into this person like we're talking about, this a la mid-range assassin. That's what we're gonna get from him this year. And in my opinion, if we do get Simmons, that Simmons, OG, and McHale helps out Jalen Brunson and Cat defensively on the court. Those three guys really could be essential help. Now you look over to your wing to help you. You got Brunson has OG on the wing to help him. And that on the opposite side, you got Simmons helping out Cat. And I love to see, in my opinion, to see Cat and McHale, Cat and Simmons on the same side with a post up game. I would love to see how that works out this year. I would love to see that. So that's my
and here's the thing. Sometimes, regardless of the talent you have or whatever, Mike Brown has coached two teams that have won, because we've seen a lot of good teams not win 60 games that were still really, really good. He's coached two teams to over 60 wins.
That was just mid, right?
He brought the Kings roster to be the number 2 seed in the West, 48 wins. I mean, with that roster, I mean, you can get that out of that roster. I mean, look at the smile on that man's face every time he's on camera since he's been the Knicks coach. This dude knows what he's got. He's smiled more times since I've met Mike Brown as a Knicks coach than I saw Tom Thibodeau smile in 3 or 4 years.
Well, that's not saying a lot. Just want to say that I don't think anybody's ever seen Thibodeau smile. So,
but the thing is, sometimes it's a fit. And I think we have a team of guys that like to smile. There's nothing wrong. People think being happy and jovial and enjoying what you do as weakness. It's not. You can be you don't have to be an a-hole all the time and have a mean mug to be a badass.
That's correct.
You can still be that way and be, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You think people aren't worried about OG Anunoby in a dark alley. But if push came to shove, you don't want to mess with that dude. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny. And I appreciate you guys answering the questions and giving me your takes on what your thought is for the Knicks wins and losses for the season. The funny thing is, even though I said that I expect the Knicks to win about 55 games or more, I can't do what you guys did because I can't predict what this team is going to do because I don't know who they are yet.
Right. That's why I said I won't say
I didn't want to put you guys on the spot like that, but I wanted to get some type of idea about stuff, and I wanted to be able to wait until you were done to let you know that I don't know what this team is going to do yet because I don't know who they are.
I do. You want to know why I can? Because last year, because of the talent of the players alone, with lack of adapting and lack of coaching in crunch time and lack of use of the bench, this team still won 51 games, still went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's a good point.
Now our roster got better, and supposedly we have a coach now that's more willing to dive into what we're doing and adapt to things that we have. And just because of that alone, I think cruise control wise, roster wise, we're coasting to 55 wins. That's if Mike Brown just stays an average decision maker. That's just my personal opinion. Now, if Mike Brown truly maximizes all the talent on his team, top to bottom, bench use, rotations, making our stars better, making our backups have real defined roles, we're a 60-win team all day long. That's just my opinion.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I agree with that. My whole thing is, I think the Knicks, I know some people are feeling really comfortable and good about the Knicks coming out the gate hot. I kind of have a feeling the Knicks are going to struggle early. I think that the offensive style is going to take a little while for the Knicks to buy into it. That's my only thought is just gonna, in order for them to really lock in, they're gonna have to kind of separate themselves from what they've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years under Tibbs and it takes a little time to acclimate yourself to a little bit of a new style of system. I do understand that Mike Brown is going to keep certain things in place because you have to, because you can't teach them everything right out the gate and start with a whole new style of play. You got to borrow some stuff from the previous regime. But I just feel like it might take them a little while to start acclimating themselves to his style of unselfish basketball, his style of making the extra pass to get that open look. Because I was watching some Sacramento Kings play and their videos of running their offense, and these guys sometimes passed an extra pass to a fault. I'm not saying the Knicks will do that, but I think he wants to make sure they have the mentality.
Yeah. But besides Harris and Barnes, they were young.
Right. I know this is different. This is a more of a veteran type team, even though they're not like super old, but they're older. But, these are the type of things that you still need to see. We're talking about guys like Cat that played a certain way under Tibbs, right? We're talking about guys like Brunson, who's been ISO ball, used to dribble. And, there's certain things that you just have to kind of put to the side and say, I got to do something different. And I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying sometimes it takes a little time for everybody to fall in line and understand how it works and how it works together. That's it. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see. Anyway, I want to thank you guys because getting ready for this Met game, and I got to eat something. But I want to thank you guys for being here and rocking, man. This has been a really good conversation, really good talks. We definitely tackled a lot of different things and had some really good takes on certain things, and obviously made the chat think about certain things in a different way, and maybe we learned a little something too as we're talking, just getting different people's perspectives. So I appreciate the conversation. Thank you, Shah. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Coach. I'm going to get around to you guys real quick with your last thoughts, but I also want to thank the chat for being in chat. You guys know what you do. You know what you bring to the table. Shout out to Craig. I see you, my guy. Thank you for being here. Replay gang for all those who might have come in late. This was a really good conversation. I think that's pretty much it. There he is. Shout out to my guy Divine in the building too. What up, Divine? Good to see you, my brother. And Phil Porto. What up, Phil? Good to see you, my guy. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. So, all right. Shah, final words, my guy.
Yeah, thank you for having me on today. Thank you, Coach, for coming on. Jay Chosen, as always. Ron, thanks once again. Salute to the family in the chat. My man Divine in the chat. I couldn't see you, but thanks for letting me know that he's out there. Nothing much to say about what we talked about today. You know what I mean? It is a lot of stuff about the New York Knicks and what we think that they think that we think that they think they're gonna do. and that's pretty much what it is. You know what I mean? What we hope for, what we strive for, not strive for, but what we strive for the team to see what can happen. Right? We don't know what's gonna happen on the court, but on paper, it looks like if this team can really get together and put the formulate a plan, they will really be a really good team. And like you said, Ron, there is a chance that they do start off a little slow because it's a new system that they have to inquire. But they have played together, so it shouldn't be a hard transition, hopefully. So with that being said, man, let's talk about it again, man. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy talking to the great minds and stuff like that. So let's get it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Jay?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say what I have to say. I want to thank you ahead of time because I'm gonna bounce as soon as I say it, so I can get ready prior to that. And I just want to say, look, man, kind of everything that what Shah said, man. It's always great chopping it up about our favorite team, about talking with sensible people about some things, and and just got to keep in mind that it's still sports, you know what I mean, and that life is happening out there, and that we're just having a good talk, a good conversation about the team that we love. I think that we hit on a lot of great points. I think that everybody, I always say this, that two, maybe even four things could be right at the same time. So, if you had a point that you think that you were right on, and I had a point I thought I was right on, and they were the same exact what you call it, topic. Okay, that's okay, you know, and I think that's one thing that we should know, man. It's peace, love, and happiness, and Knicks, and that all comes in after. So it's a great time to have a good platform. You know, I have a great time doing this. I have I use 3 different phones. One's a work phone, one's my personal phone, and one's a phone that I found. And I mean, 2 phones and the computer. And the computer has 3 different names. So when I just shouted out Divine, it came up a different thing. I keep noticing that. But as long as the chosen's on there, you know that it's me. So shout out to one half of Knicks Real Talk as Real. Go check them out too. They have a great show. I love to chop it up with them as well. So peace to you, Divine. Shy, as always, my brother. I will talk to you soon, if not later. Ron, same thing, but sooner not later. And it's always a blessing to wake up and talk about something other than what is going on in the world. This is beautiful. Thank you so much for having me. Always.
It's always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure. I guess Coach had to go, but we appreciate his final words and thoughts wherever you are, Coach. Wherever you are.
Still here.
Before I get out of here, I thought this was funny, even though I don't know when the hell this is from. I don't know context, but you know what? I just wild stuff, man. This is Giannis in a huddle with his teammates of what is this? Yang. What? Like what happened? What happened, Giannis? Like what we doing? Yang.
Like, damn. What? Wait, what?
Get it in the game.
What is happening, Giannis? What we did? And then dude is like taking it like, what? Come on, man.
He was having a seizure.
You ain't yanking me like that.
He was having a seizure. He was trying to...
Not for nothing. That was some real sucker-ish.
I don't know what that's about, bro.
I'm laughing a little bit, but I would be thinking about 150 ways how to hurt that mother sucker.
You know how
you want to do that to me from the side and the back like that?
You can't.
Come on, man.
Real quick, I want to.
This guy's palming a basketball. You ain't slapping me just in my ear like that. Like you don't think that I'm gonna kick you in your niggies or something.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta do whatever I gotta do.
So when you hit, I'm like, oh, that's like a gunshot. Yeah. I gotta get you back.
Shot. Whatever I gotta do. He can palm the basketball, but as soon as he better not fall asleep. He better not fall asleep.
He's like.
Anyway, I want to say one last thing. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to press like. It was a great show. Same thing that Divine said. Don't forget that. Also to check them out too. Shaq can promote that. And I think it's that's very important, man. That was crazy. What you just showed me just sent me a shockwaves, man. I got to get ready to go check McClain to get ready for this no-hitter he's going to throw. All right, let's go. Today starts a new day for the Mets as well. Don't forget that.
Let's go. Appreciate you, Jay. Hey, listen. I don't know what the hell that was. Maybe that's like the game when I was young. We used to play a game like that. They used to smack you in the back of the neck. Maybe he's heavy-handed. Maybe he's Okay, I don't know, bro.
No, that didn't look like that game.
I know one thing. He ain't doing that to me, and I'm chilling in there. Listen.
Yeah, we had a game like that too. I ain't playing that. I'm like, okay, it's your turn. Hey, go on.
Whatever. You got me. Yeah, all right.
You remember slap? You remember slap boxing?
Yeah.
No,
and then inevitably, one of those would turn into
it always happens. Jay. It always leads to something else.
I never slap box because I knew that I would not be okay if you poked me in my eye or you actually hit me hard. No.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Anyway, all right, Jay, go do what you got to do. I'm sorry to keep you, man. Appreciate you guys once again. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, remember, guys, no matter what, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, no matter what, we are still Knicks fans. Let's get it, baby. You know, as I always say, if you can't be good at it. Hey, and tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Saturdays at 11:30 for Know the Ledge, Mondays for SKF Weekly with myself, my brother John, my brother Jose at 9 p.m. You know, whatever it may be. And stay tuned for State of the Game. It may drop whenever it drops, but we'll be talking about the Mets. We'll be talking about the Giants. We'll be talking about the Knicks. Different things, though. When we talk about the Knicks, it'll be a little different. Won't be your normal conversation, but we'll definitely be just talking about Giants and Mets the way we like to talk about it. So appreciate you guys once again. Thank you for all the support. We're on the road to 10K. Thank you for the love. Hey, man. Can't say enough, man. Please hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already done so. Take care. Let's go Mets, and I guess let's go Yankees for you Yankee fans. And let's go Giants, man. Tonight, let's have another good preseason game on the road to becoming a better team, to becoming relevant once again. That's all I'm hoping for. I just want them to have a good product, man. I don't want them to be the butt of anybody's jokes. I want us to get back to being a historic franchise that we've always been known for. So let's get it, y'all. I'm out. Laters.